right, I should be live. It is on in the group. Okay. Let me turn this down a little bit. Yeah, obviously. It's going to be weird for you, like, looking at it afterward. Okay. So, we are live. Let me go ahead and close out of that. So, we're going to wait a few moments for a few people to join. And if you're watching this later in the day, thank you so much for joining and viewing our event, as you would like to call it. Our Indiegogo has dropped for our finishing funds and our new trailer, the only trailer, the thing that we've been pushing and hyping for to at least show off some of the movie, has been posted. So if you do want to watch the trailer, please go to our Indiegogo. You see the link underneath here to our actual page. My lovely spouse Rook is moderating for me over here, literally like 5 feet from me. And hopefully we're going to get quite a few people in here today. That's the goal. What we want to talk about is obviously the Indiegogo, why we need it, and then go over some of the perks, some of the story with Parallels, how it was made, and give you some video to watch and some little snippets of the behind the scenes that will be included in the featurette that you can only get if you get a Blu-ray, a physical copy of the movie. So, what are we looking at, babe?
Waiting for live video signal.
Is waiting for a signal. It should resume shortly. Yeah, that's what it says. Interesting. We have good internet. Okay. Don't know what happened there, so I appreciate you for being patient through that lag. There is quite a bit of stuff going through our internet at the moment, so who knows how laggy it will be. All right. Oh, and I can see the comments that you're posting on the video. That's sweet. Okay. Is it still lagging?
I'm now just hearing you say that you have good internet.
Okay.
So there is a little bit of a lag, but it's okay.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll move this over. Okay. Keep me posted with how many viewers we have, because I don't know if I can see that. Can I comment too? Will it let me comment? Yeah, it'll let me comment. That's interesting. That's neat. Okay. That's all right. What I'm going to do is load up some things. I'm actually going to load up the trailer in VLC so we can watch it. And nope. Gonna hold on that just for a second. If you are within our live stream, please say hello. Give us a comment. Announce your presence. Hey, Darren. It's good to see you. So again, we had kind of a technical difficulty at the beginning, but we're super thankful to be able to have this and go live. Now, it's kind of different from the previous times that we've either had an Indiegogo launch or a live stream. Unfortunately, our lovely Tony and Becca are not here with us, and we're not with them. So they're in our thoughts. Hopefully, they're having a very productive day. I know Tony is still recouping over the undesirables, and kind of have to give a shout out to him. The footage looks amazing. I wish I could have been on set for longer than I was, but that movie is going to be amazing. And usually during these kind of live streams, we're yelling and making jokes and drinking and doing different stuff and pleading for you to give us like $20 or $30 to torture us in our kidneys or livers. But we're not doing that. So we're trying to be a little bit more calm today. But we are going to be showing off quite a bit of parallels. When we get a few more viewers, I do want to show off the trailer during the live stream, but you can go ahead and watch that now if you would like to. Just go ahead and go to our Indiegogo link down below so that you can see tons of photos. I've posted quite a few videos that we have collected over the years, but we're trying to still hold on to a lot of stuff. That way there's exclusives, surprises, things that are going to be added onto the movie once you get a physical copy. So with that, we have the behind the scenes featurette that is kind of a making of. It's sort of a documentary of the beginning to the end, which is still ongoing. But with that, then we'll have a massive blooper reel. I think the last time that I actually looked at it, I was still adding a few things to it because we encouraged everyone to be on their phones and get as much footage as possible. And there's a lot. So it's close to 48, 49 minutes long of bloopers, and it's like solid. We have a slate reel, which I haven't seen that from someone else. If there is, then I'll take it back. But it's a compilation of every single slate that was slapped or just spoken for the entire production. And it's silly, but it's also really interesting to see the progression, or at least putting focus on that specific job. Because, running a slate or being assistant camera or whatever role that you have within that responsibility, it's a difficult job. A lot of people just kind of like not pay attention to it, but it's pretty difficult. So, yeah. So, what are we at? 5 viewers at the moment? Is that the current? Hey, moderator. Can you hear me? Rook's our moderator today. They're over there. I think we have 5. So, okay. So what I want to go ahead and do, let's go ahead and watch the trailer, but like big. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to, can I move my thing? I can't move it. Hold on. Give me a second. I'm still learning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's super delayed, so whenever you're talking to me, I can't hear you for like 20 seconds.
That's okay. So I'm going to move myself over so you can't see me. Make this big. Let's watch the trailer together.
I found the gate that leads to the outside, by which the Ancient Ones, whoever seek entrance to our world, keep eternal watch. When the gates open, I'll cause the dead to rise and devour the living. I'll give the dead power over the living, so that they may outnumber the living.
Isn't that so good? Like, obviously, editing it and then editing all the footage. Like, I've watched that 100,000 times at this point, and I still enjoy watching it. So, like, I've said this a few times because depending on where we've been promoting this movie over the last near a decade, uh, a few people have asked, like, do you get tired of talking about the movie or like saying the same thing over and over again? And no, I don't. Even as stressful as it is and how ridiculous the journey has been, no, I'm not tired of it. So I've actually watched that trailer before today, uh, after it was rendered, probably around 40 or 50 times, just to like look at every quadrant and make sure that nothing's wrong and getting feedback from very specific people within the production. So I'm super happy about it. So we'll hold that and we'll show it a little bit later. We'll show it again. I'll show it like multiple times. Um, so within our Indiegogo, that's the biggest thing. It's like, yes, the trailer is amazing, and that's like the whole thing that we're hyping about because it's like, it's showing a piece of the movie, a little morsel. But the Indiegogo is important. We do need finishing funds. So all those watching, all those that are watching later on, it is extremely important. And the transparency of it is, it's really hard to make a movie. If you haven't done it, and it's common sense, everything takes energy and money to do. But something like this with so many people, I'm extremely indebted to everyone who worked on this movie, but we still need a little bit more to push us over the finish line. So any amount will extremely help. We keep talking like the group that we have, the Parallels Film Group. We've had a good steady 2,000 for uh, a year and a half or 2 years now. And literally, if everyone donated like $1, we would be able to hit our goal and finish making the movie. So, as it is right now, there are 2 scenes that Tony is helping me with. Tony Walters, our lovely director of photography, whiz filmmaker. Um, there's 2 that are just kind of out of my wheelhouse. I completely, admit there are some things I either don't know yet, haven't had time to learn, don't have the patience for, unskilled, etc., etc. So he has 2 scenes that I just sent him a few days ago, so he's working on those. But basically, all of the movie is done. We have the opening credits, we have the entire movie, we have the end credits. The end credits are kind of a pain because like the pacing and making sure that like people are on there long enough so that you can read, and especially with all of the Indiegogo backers that we have, I want to give them a highlight too. I don't want their name to just flit by and you never see them. Um, but that's basically it. Everything else is the headache of authoring the files, getting the physical media made, having that stuff queued up, and making sure there's no mistakes. So that's the current goal at the moment. And to be honest, it's quite anxiety inducing and stressful. So, yeah. So let's look at a few of the perks that we have for our finishing funds campaign. And as we scroll, you can see these lovely photos and promotional materials of the movie. So no Indiegogo is a thing without a thank you credit. Basically, every page has one, and it's basically if you don't want anything physical, if you don't want something mailed to you, you don't want to share your address or anything really major, but you do want to help, you do want to support, and you got a little bit of money. That's basically like a Starbucks run, $10 and some tax maybe. Um, it just helps in it's really hard to describe. Like when our initial campaign was going on, literally, we just kept saying, just donate $5, just $2, something. But I don't think people who haven't worked on a set really understand how much that helps, because Cameron just said, like, I heard you had amazing food on set. Cameron, the food was amazing. But those little amounts in big quantities, like a few people donating $5, that's breakfast, or that's bags of ice that will last for a few days. That's the stuff that um, those snacks at the end of a long scene or a blocking period and halfway through the day, and you're reaching for something just to get you through. Like, it helps. It helps a lot. And just those emergency runs where something breaks and it's like we have to go buy a new SD card, or we have to go pick up something. Let's do a Home Depot run, or just different stuff that comes up. So literally, these $10 thank you credits, they're amazing. Now after production, what is the question? Uh, well, Cameron, thank you for asking the question. But to be quite frank with you, I don't know if I have enough experience to answer that question, because I don't think I've done XYZ long enough to kind of pick. But from what I've done, I don't know, man. This is the first time I've ever had to do post production for like a major, like a long thing. Because I've edited videos before and I've done sort of like weird format stuff. Post production is actually really enjoyable. Like, especially the recent weeks of editing, like different things that I've changed. It completely alters what we had written, and the order of things that happen within the storyboards and the story and like what originally was thought of. So being able to like throw those and change stuff to make the story fit a little bit better and just kind of puzzle piece the thing together, that's really fun. Um, but being on set and actually doing the thing and waking up every day after, 4 hours of sleep, if that, and just experiencing stuff with everyone. Like, I'm not a people person. I'm very much an introvert and I like being in my house, but there's something really special about being on a set of people that are creative and energetic, and you can feed off of everyone, and then you're making something. It's not just, waste. You're creating something together. That's pretty cool. So pre-production's awful. I would say doing the actual movie and then post-production. But let me do more post-production, then I'll fill you in later on how I feel. I'm not giving a cop-out answer. You're a baby. Oh, it is? Okay. This film has been. Oh, okay. I speed read, and that means I fail. So that's what it is. Okay. So that's the thank you credit. Basically, any amount is important. So nothing is too small. With what I was describing for um, production, this is really any other way for you to help get those DVDs made, film festival submissions, and everything in between of trying to get this done. So any amount, thank you. The digital copy of the movie, a lot of people just don't have Blu-ray players anymore. I mean, the world of what we're doing, we're just what? Oh, hello, Anthony, and hello, Holly, and however any other people that I've missed. I apologize. Um, but yeah, a lot of people just don't have discs anymore. Either they're moving into the digital age, or they just don't want to dust their DVD collection and Blu-ray collection anymore. So if you just want a digital copy of the movie, we will eventually be able to have a secure site. We're still looking at that. I know Vimeo has a lot of smart features on protecting from being like recorded and pirated and different stuff like that. But eventually, we'll be able to decide. But basically, the digital copy gets you. Yes.
Anthony asked, how did you decide on the music for the film? Have you composed any of it?
Oh, see, I had to reboot the computer a minute ago. So yeah, Anthony asked, how did you decide on the music for the film? Have you composed any of it? So I did have um, some of the soundtrack that we had made for us playing in the background when I was setting up, but I had technical issues, so I had to reboot the computer. So let me go into this. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? So I'll go ahead and play the intro like really low in the background while I'm talking. Moody. So most of the movie is based around a soundtrack that we had composed by Carl Casey. He goes by White Bat Audio online. So let me actually go to his website while I'm talking about him. So White Bat Audio is a project that Carl does where he makes music and he gives it away for free. A lot of the stuff that he makes is, let me actually turn that down just a little more. A lot of the stuff that he makes, he does make money off of. Obviously, we paid for the music to be composed, and he's just such a super nice guy. So I'm trying to turn it down so it's not too distracting. But Carl likes to make dark synthwave kind of cyberpunk sort of industrial electronic music. It's hard to really pinpoint what he does, but I found him on YouTube, and his music just found its way in my brain and it wouldn't leave. So around this time we were talking about, we were deep in pre-production and we were like about to start filming, and we needed music. That was the biggest thing of like, you can't have something that is foreboding or a horror thriller kind of soundscape environment without the soundscape. You have to have music. So I went out on a limb and I messaged him because obviously he takes requests. He does custom music. So at the time, I was watching Chernobyl, the HBO miniseries. I had just seen The Joker, where the composer Hildur Godinter, I can't pronounce their last name, their music, and they did both the soundtrack for both the Joker and Chernobyl, and that music was in my brain as well. So there were a few other kind of composers, like Johan Johansson, who did the music for Mandy, and I was like going into major detail. I sent him emails that were essays describing a specific track and what I enjoyed about that sound, or these collection of notes and these arrangements of rhythms. And he got back to me and we talked, and it was just a really good partnership. And he got me, like he immediately knew what I was going for. So we went back and forth, and really there was only 2 revisions of songs that he made that I had feedback on. The others were great. They were perfect. So this song that you've been listening to is the theme, and there's quite a few moments within the movie that this is present in, and it kind of creates an anchor. If you've never paid attention to a movie before, sometimes they do have either a sound effect, a tone. It could be a full song, but it's something that the movie could go back to, and it sort of elicits an anchor point for either your attention to be paid onto something or an emotion to keep. So this song is one of those where it's spattered around the movie. But you couldn't hear the music? It was really low, so I don't. Anyway, let me try and do another one while I'm talking. Let me turn it up just a little more. Okay, so this is another one. Tell me if you can hear that, if you can. Anyway, there was another artist that I was looking at. So really the highlight is White Bat Audio. So they definitely had what I needed. But there was another artist that I actually found called Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse. And they are kind of the similar person that just wants to create music for people to listen to. So you can't hear it? Okay. So he just creates music to share, and he wants people to reach out to them, use them for video games and movies and TV shows and different projects and videos. And I reached out to him as well. I went out on a limb and I asked, can I use some of your music? And basically we came to an agreement. And so most of the movie is White Bat Audio and Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse, which is kind of funny because, oh, that's really loud. Kind of went up in volume. But it's kind of ironic with the dude Iron Cthulhu Apocalypse, with this being a Lovecraft inspired movie. Kind of worked out. Kind of a coincidence. Anyway, okay, so I'll turn that off. But from those two, you can kind of get a sense of the mood. It's not so much John Carpenter that it's in that realm, but obviously The Thing is one of my favorite movies, and the music within that, and a lot of what John Carpenter does is obviously an inspiration, even if it's not super big. So anyway, great question. But I'm only, I've shared a little bit of the music over the years in different videos and different stuff that we're sharing. But you'll hear it more in the movie. So please get a copy of the movie. Again, for any new viewers, the link is down below. Please go and look at our Indiegogo. Okay, so continuing on talking about the perks. And here in a while, I'll play the trailer again because I want to watch it again. So Blu-ray is the most important perk that we're trying to highlight. Because number one, we want you to have a physical copy of the movie. Yes, we're doing digital, but with a physical copy, it's the only way that we're actually sharing the 45-minute plus blooper reel and the making of Parallels featurette, as well as a slate compilation where we, do the slapper board throughout the entire movie. Obviously. Thank you, Jesse. Um, I love that a lot. Yeah, I love that a lot. But yeah, we want you to get a physical copy, and we dropped this price down by quite a bit from our initial campaign because the initial campaign was signed. So we had everyone sign the insert and stuff for the movie. So unfortunately, we can't do that, but this still gets you a copy of the movie plus all these little goodies. And stay tuned. If you are watching, stay tuned. We are going to be releasing, sharing some super secret behind the scenes stuff that's within this making of featurette. The next perk is the premiere and behind the scenes Dropbox. So this is kind of interesting and very fun. It's still in progress, but we want to have a premiere for Parallels in Indiana and Tennessee. Now, obviously not at the same time, but hopefully close together. And again, this is still to be determined, to be announced. But basically, you getting this perk, you'll get a Blu-ray, plus all the little goodies that I just mentioned, a digital copy if you don't want to have to deal with a disc. You get access to a Dropbox folder that we're not going to put everything in there because there's a lot of stuff that's either just dumb photos, the camera recording with the lens cover on. I don't know, just stuff. We're not going to give you garbage. We're going to try and put stuff that's worthwhile in there. But you'll be able to see photos and videos from the making of and before and afterward and all the little goodies that, we've had as memories. So you can be a part of that. Now, also, you get an invitation with a +1. You get a little +1 to the premiere. So obviously, please keep this in mind for this perk if you do not have the ability to travel to Indiana or to Tennessee. Please, please don't buy this if you're in Wyoming or Utah or California and you're like, oh, well, I don't want to drive or I can't fly there. Travel is not included. So we will not fly you out to Tennessee or Indiana. But it is a very nice thing because we're trying to keep the premiere very close knit. Like, obviously, we have a lot of peers and family members and friends. Um, I mean, I could sign the Blu-rays. Rook can sign the Blu-rays. But we can't. It's not feasible to have everyone in the cast sign them. So that was the whole thing of like while we were trying to push the original Indiegogo campaign, where we had all of the cast and crew sign the posters and the Blu-rays. But yeah, so the next perk is a little interesting. This may be up someone's alley. It may not be. It's an interview and more. So the and more is basically you get the Blu-ray with all the goodies, you get the digital copy, you get the behind-the-scenes Dropbox link, thank you credit in the film, all those things. But you also get an interview with me. Now this isn't like an ego trip. It's not anything like that. Just trying to raise money for this project. But if you are unfamiliar with working on a film set or doing anything related to this kind of thing, I have edited for a few years. I've worked in film for going on 9 years, 9 or 10 years, as well as my spouse Rook, where we've been there together. If you want to talk to anyone, advice, situational etiquette with certain things, I can offer a word. We can have an interview for a completely undisclosed time. There's no time limit, no expiration date. If you need help with a project you're trying to get off the ground, if there's no one around you that you can bounce ideas off of, it is 10 years. So yeah, 10 years. I'm offering my time for that. So it again, it may not be something that seems interesting to you, but from feedback that I have gotten over the last 2 years, especially with Midwest Action Fest and Midwest Horror Fest, and just talking to different people, it's a sad amount or a sad percentage of people who just don't feel like they can talk to anyone or bounce ideas off of. They might not have a good support system. So this is that kind of thing for that. So if that's something you're interested in, please go ahead and click on it. Indiegogo consultant. So this is another thing that may not be something you're interested in. So with the Blu-ray, thank you credit, digital copy, not the behind the scenes though, no Dropbox link for this one. You basically hire me and my spouse to help you with your Indiegogo. Again, if you don't have experience with it, you don't know the strategies that go into it, you don't really have any friends or peers that you can kind of go into it with, you just may be in a situation where no one around you has wanted to do a project before, we can help you. So with previous work that we've done and the very successful Indiegogo campaign that we had to get this movie made, we have a little bit of experience. So again, if this is interesting to you, go ahead and pick this up. There is only 2 of them because they are kind of time consuming. With this, we're not just going to let it be and whatever. We actually are being pretty straightforward. If you want us to run the entire thing, we'll do that for you. It's something else that I haven't seen before on an Indiegogo that we're trying to service and be sort of unique with what we're doing, especially with these two next perks. So the two highest perks that we have to try and get us to our goal are revolving around editing and my time for you. So the first one here is I'll edit a short for you. So technically a short is 45 minutes and below. If you don't have someone around you, or you're afraid to ask someone, or just a situation in your area where you're located, if you don't have an editor or you need help with post production, I'll do it with you and for you. So, as it's written, are you working on a short that needs finished and you're hunting for someone to do post production with? I have edited short and long format projects, and I'd like to offer my services in exchange for funding this campaign. I do use DaVinci Resolve Studio, and I can work with your schedule. So obviously, if this perk is purchased, I am in your debt. So let's have fun. Let's make something. So there's two of those available only, because again, it takes time. I don't want to take on this responsibility and to just kind of like willy-nilly not pay attention and like go off and be distracted by something else. So I'm definitely taking these kind of things seriously. And the last one, there's only one of these, is I'll edit your feature for you. So same descriptor. You get a copy of the movie, thank you credit in the film, all of that good stuff, but 45 minutes and over. Now, hopefully you don't have a 3-hour movie that you want to have edited, but I can't say no. But again, if you don't have anyone, if you don't know what you're doing, if something is going on and you just maybe have lost your editor or something situation, I'm here to be at your service. So those are the perks that we're currently offering, and I'll be transparent. There's no hidden perks. There's no secret perks. This is basically what we have and what we're trying to push. Again, the most important one that we have is the physical copy. That way, you're getting everything that we have to offer within the physical disc. We may do stuff later on, and we want to be very we want to stay close to our backers. So anytime that we're going somewhere, having a film festival premiere, something, we want to involve everyone who's helped us make the movie because it's your movie too. So the best perk that I can see that we're trying to hype is obviously the Blu-ray. No more questions?
Not yet.
Okay.
Jesse was being silly and asked if he would edit a wholesome film with her and Joshua. And I was like, yeah, send it over.
Absolutely.
Yes, that one
Okay. So before we do the trailer again, just to show it off again, let's talk about our IMDb for a second. So we've tried to update IMDb as often as possible. Anytime that there has been a new photo, a new image from post-production that's good enough to not spoil anything, we have absolutely been pushing that and trying to hype up the movie. So if you haven't been on our IMDb, we have tons of photos from both behind the camera and in front of the camera. And one of the things I've been working on is trivia and factoids and goofs and different things. I love looking up trivia and stuff from TV shows and movies, so I wanted to have that same kind of thing for Parallels. So I'm going to hold off. It's painful because I want to just give out these little things and little factoids, but I want people to be able to watch the movie without being spoiled. So eventually, the Parallels IMDb will be littered littered. I have a huge essay of trivia and little facts and things to learn about the movie. So very cool. And yeah, here's our cast. If you didn't know, if you've been living under a rock, so basically IMDb orders these in the way that they want to. But Brittany Blanton, Johnny Shander, Darren Lee Cupp, Donald Overstreet, and his wife, I think wife, girlfriend. Apologies if I'm getting that wrong. Did some additional voices because we did have a voice in the film perk when we did our initial Indiegogo, and it really works. It works in the movie. I'm very happy that we did that. Jason Crow, R.J. Seacott, Amber Burns, Rebecca Erb. There's Emilita. So Donald Emilita, Cameron Scott, Josh Cochran, Matt Cox, Douglas Ruse, Dennis Preston, Jesse Cochran. Lovely, lovely people. I cannot wait to see these people in person again and be able to work with them. But yeah, throughout this, we've kind of tried to, sorry, English, update this as much as possible. But really, the way to follow the movie is our Facebook group. So let me pop over to a new tab. And we just crossed 2.1 thousand members. So I'm very happy. I'll be watching the rest of the night. I haven't had time to sit down with it. You're good, my guy. You have been resting and recouping from the Undesirables, which looks amazing. I cannot wait to watch that movie in different forms because, if play the trailer again. Okay. Let me move my ugly face. Let's play that trailer again.
I found the gate that leads to the outside, by which the ancient ones, whoever seek entrance to our world, keep eternal watch. When the gates open, I'll cause the dead to rise and devour the living. I'll give the dead power over the living, so that they may outnumber the living.
Doesn't get old. Doesn't get old. Now, again, I have to say, it kills me that the trailer can't show off more of the movie. We have, it's technically the second trailer that we built to, yeah, it's mainly Rook's idea, so they have credit. But it's trying to ask or get you to ask questions, and there's so much that we want to do to like spoil our own movie, but we have to be smart and not do that. So again, there's a lot of stuff in this movie. I'm very happy about it. I didn't think that it would turn out this good. Like I want to be that confident voice going, oh, I can make a feature. I know how to do it. It's fine. I got this. But it turned out really well. Way better than we thought. So who wants to see? Who was it? Let me go look. Let me pull this over. Refresh. Yay! Hold on, let me see who it was. So we have a backer. We finally have one. Josh Cochran. Thank you so much. And I miss your face. I can't wait to see you soon. So you're amazing. Now the reason why I took the thing off is I don't want to share anyone's private information. So I'm not trying to be sneaky, but I'm trying to be intelligent and smart, not giving people's phone numbers and addresses away. So let me move that back over. And okay, with the people who are here, give me a comment or an emoji if you would like to see some exclusive, never before seen behind the scenes of a random video. I have a few that I have written down that don't have spoilers. So if you would like to see them, let me know. Let me know in the comments.
You would have to speak with him
Let me know.
personally about that. He could absolutely talk to you about your needs as a contractor.
And if I don't get anything, then I'll just not play anything. I'll just sit here and talk for an hour. There is one cute thing that I have planned today. There are some videos that I recorded 3 days after we wrapped filming, like the entire production of filming. I've only kind of skimmed through them, but I want to kind of do like a sort of blind reaction to the video. It's basically me being emotional and extremely tired and talking about the process and everyone involved and kind of giving like a thank you, like an Oscar speech sort of thing. So,
Anthony's his plan.
okay, give me 1 second. Let me pull them up. Where did I put them? Let me just load up one of these, and I need to remember where I put them and to not share anything too ridiculous. Is it part two? Part one and part two. Okay, so I can play both of these. So this was before filming started.
Anthony also had a question: how long did filming take, and where all did you shoot?
Okay, so I'll answer that question before we play the video. So Anthony asked, how long did filming take, and where all did you guys shoot? So in June of last year, we were on set for 5 days, and we filmed for 4. So 1 day for travel and then 4 days for filming. And that was in Logansport, Indiana, in a lovely, lovely house that basically we'll never see again. But that was perfect. Like as far as scheduling, footage, mood, building relationships. I mean, we've worked together a lot. Like a lot of people that are on the cast and crew, we've worked together before, or at least by proxy by someone. But there were a few people that have never met before. Worked out perfectly. Very, very good friendships. I'm very happy to meet everyone and like gel. So then we had about a month off, close to a month. So we had 5 days filming for 4 and then off for a month. And then we filmed basically in the Tri-Cities of Tennessee. So we have Churchill, Bristol, and Irwin were the 3 locations that we went. And they're kind of a drive, depending. I'm sure if any of the cast and crew are watching this, they're like, oh my God, the drives, with lack of sleep. But same thing, 5 days, 1 day for travel and prep and getting stuff together, and then 4 days of filming. That collection of days was much more difficult. That was rough, to say the least. We still got everything. We made it work. Stuff came out very well. There's a lot of stuff that we captured in both locations that are just awesome. Like there's some times that when you are working on a project and you barely have to do anything, like all of it is already done. Like the preparation stuff that RJ and Darren and Jason did, like the ability just to pull out the script from their brain, amazing. You don't have to do much. If you know what's there and you know the characters, everything else kind of falls in place. But it's like all those little things that are kind of the hiccups and different stuff. And I'm a lot to blame. I was definitely making some mistakes and having some errors and issues. So a lot of it was thanks and no thanks to me. But we got through it. So very good question. Thank you, Anthony, and thank you for continuing to watch this. So yeah, let's play video. So this is some special effects behind the scenes that Dennis from Preston Perspectives um, did, and it doesn't give anything away. So it may be confusing because it's in a collection of stuff. So you're confused on purpose. That way we're not spoiling anything. So again, never before seen other than maybe myself, Rook, and Dennis. So have fun.
Hi there, I'm Dennis Preston, and I'm working today uh, on some prosthetics for Parallels. I am super excited to be working on a project with such a variety of effects and practical gags and everything like that. And because I'm so excited, and I'm sure Daniel will appreciate it, I'm just going to go over something that I'm trying for the first time. So typical thing, I'm just doing a prosthetic on a flat mold here. Just, this is going to be like a head wound probably in this area here. And what's special about this is that I'm going to be I'll be making a mold using silicone, just for this. I probably won't even finish the sculpture, at least for the skin texture around it. I will be using that, and again, a round circular disc of silicone with the negative of this shape here. And when I have that, when the silicone is cured, I'm going to be pouring melted monster clay into the mold so I can get an exact negative of this space here. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to make it like a skin flap. And like I said, I'm going to be applying it around this area here. So I'll apply this piece here, and then the second piece, when I have that negative, it'll be able to fit in there. Because I'm thinking that, in the shot, it can just slowly, it can fall open. But I want to make sure it looks like it's, flush. It doesn't look like there's a wound there until it peels open. I want it to be nice and sticky. So it's going to be a two-piece prosthetic technically, but like I said, it's the first time I'm trying this, and I'm very excited about it. If you haven't already, go and check out the Parallels Facebook page, Condog Films, Rad Entertainment. We start filming in 9-10 days, I think. It's going to be a good time.
And it was a good time. So there's a second part to that. So basically, to spoil. Oh, that's a question that I may have once known or saw a label of. You're gonna have to message him. So I do not know. A lot of the stuff, unfortunately, because of the location difference, a lot of special effects prep was done without me there. We did have tons of video calls. Basically, Dennis and I spoke on the phone nearly every day for a long period of time, and we had video calls as well as when I was talking and having meetings with Tony about every single scene, every single setup, and different stuff. But a lot of the special effects was done without me there in person, and it kind of sucks because I live and love Rook, who is a special effects artist and makeup artist, among other things. So it was always kind of like, I really want to be there, but I don't want to drive that far back and forth. It's just not feasible. So you're definitely going to have to ask him. And my day is going well, Mark. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. Have you watched the trailer yet, Mark? We won't show it again right yet, but we will. Let me go ahead and play the second video that matches with this one. And sorry, because I got off track. To spoil a little bit of the wound that he's talking about, it worked really well. It worked. Nah, that's all I'll say. I don't want to spoil anything else for you. So let's play that second video.
Hello again. So it is the next day, and we have our silicone mold here of the wound I sculpted the other day. So now, from what I did this morning in this mold here, I then created the same thing again, but with resin. So that way I can fill in this part right here with molten clay. Well, molten clay. So Monster Clay is a oil-based clay, and the cool thing about it is you can heat it up with your hands, or or put it in the microwave, and you can literally melt it and pour it into molds, life casts, whatever you want. So that's what I did with this. And in the microwave right now, I have, a thing of got Monster Clay in the microwave, and I believe it's all heated up now. So it's all nice and liquefied. So what we're going to do very quickly, because once this stuff touches a hard surface or cool surface, it immediately likes to cool down. So we're going to do this very quickly and just pour that. Don't want to do it too quickly because then you'll create air pockets. Get in all the details there. Yeah, that's the stuff. Yeah. Now it's okay if it goes over the lip a little bit, because I'm going to be sculpting it on the actual resin itself, so that way I can blend it in with the skin, the original skin texture I sculpted for the prosthetic itself, so that way when I push it together on the actor or actress, it will blend in with the texture. So yeah, already it's starting to harden up, and so yeah, and then once that's done, like I said, I'm going to be sculpting it over the top of this as it dries, or after it's dried, and go from there.
So, with these kind of videos, Dennis and I were like, try and record as much as possible, and he agreed. So again, if you get a Blu-ray, if you get a copy, all of the behind the scenes that's not garbage files or overexposed photos, just waste of time, we will have in that collection of things. So if you're interested, if you want to learn how we did certain things, and just be more in depth within the making of a movie, if you're interested in making one yourself in the future, you may learn a lot from us of the do's and don'ts of certain things. One of the small videos that I can show is off of this character. So this was one of the hype photos that we had released this week, and in preparation for this movie, this is one of those things that's like, it's a tent pole, it's a column, it's what's holding up the movie. So obviously this character had a lot of work done before, during, and after with getting it on screen, and we battled back and forth of whether or not to show it. And I think there was another one that I posted down here. And, whether or not to keep it hidden, because it's the whole kind of thing. Tony and I kept referencing Jaws when we were in pre-production and principal photography of show less and build tension. You don't want to give everything away, because then you'll have nothing to move towards. But the more and more that we were filming, and especially in post production, we have quite a lot more to show. So we're not spoiling anything. We're definitely just enticing you, especially with this lovely little creature. So with this video is a small, short, again, segmented kind of thing, and you'll be able to see more if you get a Blu-ray. So this is in sort of production of that same thing.
Unless you were able to make
I'll go ahead and cover up Amber's butt there. So many of you may have seen the molding process video that we had done a while ago at this point. And Amber Burns had their whole body molded, and it was a neat experience, I think that they would describe it. Claustrophobic, especially. They may have better words to describe that than I do. I can show that video as well. It's a fun video in process. It is blurred, so it's not like releasing anything. But yeah, Mark, you wanted to watch the trailer. Let's pull up that trailer again. And there we go.
I found the gate that leads to the outside, by which the ancient ones, whoever seek entrance to our world, keep eternal watch. When the gates open, I'll cause the dead to rise and devour the living. I'll give the dead power over the living, so that they may outnumber the living.
So, if you're annoyed by how many times we're watching the trailer, I apologize. We're just going to keep showing it for different people who come and pop in at different points of the day. Don't know how long we're going to be streaming today, so that may be something that eventually we'll come to. But it is a Saturday. People are busy. We understand kind of the time frame. And that's a strategy thing as well too. Like sometimes people say that Indiegogo campaigns do better launching on like a Thursday or a Friday, but we chose today, so we'll see. So please, if you're interested, if you want to watch this movie, if you want a physical copy, if you want to donate just because you're a good person and you have a little bit of extra money, please click the link below. Well, not click it because it's not a hyperlink, but go to the page and donate and share. Babe, would you mind posting the link again to the Indiegogo in the chat eventually? Okay. So what else can I talk about before releasing more footage and interesting things? With our current viewers, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. We will try and yes. We will try and answer them if you have any questions in relation to parallels or anything else. So I don't see that comment. Hold on. Okay. Sorry. My moderator is telling me to do a better job at reading comments. So Anthony asked, did COVID affect you guys filming and scheduling. Absolutely. So, well, it affected everyone because there for a time frame. We were supposed to film in the summer of 2021 or 2020, and let me put this back up so I at least have a background. Um, throw this back up here. Yeah, we'll have both of them. We were supposed to film in summer of 2020, and pre-production was coming basically to a close. There's a window of time where you have to make a decision, where the prep and the pre in production, the window's done, and you have to make a decision of when that date is done. That way you can start actually setting up for the travel, the gear, planning, locations, different stuff within the schedule, just the things that are actually going to happen on the day. And we were getting closer and closer, and like everyone knows, the beginning of 2020 was chaos. I mean, not only was the world and politics and oh, we got our second backer. I will look at that in just a second. You're okay. So yeah, Rook, our moderator, I love you, said we got our second backer. I'm pulling this over to go ahead and thank them, and then I'll continue talking about COVID because everyone loves talking about COVID. Luke McLaughlin. McLaughlin. That's probably very Irish and very guttural. Thank you, Luke. If you're watching this stream, I appreciate you. If you watch this later, I hope you enjoy all the video and footage that we're sharing. So I appreciate you. So with the world basically a dumpster fire, we were very unsure of what we were going to do because at a certain point you have to make a decision with what's around you, making an educated guess and creating like a hypothesis in your head of like, well, how is this going to go? Like you can't predict what's going to happen. But what really made us make the decision to delay filming, because ultimately we delayed filming by a year, and it killed us. It killed me. It's awful. But in terms of saving the crew and being responsible and taking care of people, like, yes, it was a great decision. But, that's a whole year of independent filmmakers who have normal lives and jobs and everything, and it kind of threw a wrench in a lot of different cogs. But what made us make that decision was we started seeing major companies and production studios and stuff that the major players in the world start delaying their projects, and we were like, if these mega $1 million corporations can't handle this, or if it is actually as bad as it is, how are we going to even compare and do stuff? Hold on, my moderator is yelling at me. Oh, I thought I recognized that name. I'm so sorry, Luke. I'm so bad with names. So Luke is part of Sweet Yams Productions. My apologies. Thank you very much. Again, names and faces. I can't do names and faces. Also, like early onset dementia, maybe Alzheimer's. I don't know what's going on in my brain. And then Mark said possible sequel. Probably not. But we did joke about a prequel, and a log line is basically written for that by Douglas, who plays Lenny in Parallels. Hold on, I'll read it. I'll read it. That way everyone can see it. So Rick Bunn, lovely, lovely soul and individual, one of the nicest and most generous people that I've ever met, commented, and super, super good. So Rick says, when you guys shot at this location, everyone was professional and extremely respectful. Your invitation to have a screening here is still open, and I would consider it an honor to have you and your cast and crew return. So, before I continue talking about awful COVID, I'd like to talk about a good thing. So Rick is someone that we have known for quite a while. I don't want to put a year on it because it's like you just don't want to do that. We want to have a much longer relationship. I can't thank you enough. So not only is Rick a person that is super generous with like their time and their energy, they offer stuff to you. Like if you're in need of anything, even if you're not asking for it, they kind of like have a sense of like, you can use this. This is an item that you might be able to use. Oh, I'm not using this. You use it. You can get more use out of it. Super conscious and attentive person. And this location, let me actually pull up a photo. Give me a second. Because I have some behind the scenes of the studio, like the actual location that we were at. Give me one second. Where did I put them? Okay. So I'll kind of like throw some large things. Do I have a video? Well, here's walking through the bamboo forest, which some of this was filmed. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, Rick, because I try and describe you as much as possible within people that I talk to. But Rick is. So Justin just commented he wants it screened at Horror Hound Weekend. I will talk to you later, sir, because I would very much like to take you up on the offer. Anyway, Rick is the protector, the guardian of one of the only Shinto shrines in North America, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm probably getting that very wrong. But he's built this place and he's gotten. It's heavy. Like there's a lot of stuff within this location that's like he's a better storyteller than I am, and it's awful for me to like regurgitate info because I'm just dumb. I can't remember things. But with this location, we've been here numerous times. We've spent countless time here, and it's just a really enjoyable location. And he's been featured on like Destination America and a few other shows and like supernatural, paranormal, like ghost hunter, witch coven kind of people that like feed off the energy of this place. And we were lucky enough to film here. Rick allowed us and trusted us with his property and a lot of the stuff that he really cares about with us to like trample through and like bring in equipment and just have our story be allowed here. And it's gorgeous. So the place obviously is like a regular shrine sort of thing. You could see like the backyard and different stuff, obviously the Torii Gate and different things. But then he has this grotto. Let me see if there's another video. So I'll turn that off a little bit. So like he has this grotto that's amazing. Like the way that I describe it is like the Playboy Mansion grotto, but it's built by Rob Zombie is the way that I usually describe it. And there's basically like he built like the underside of a cemetery up above this, and it's crazy. It's really crazy. So at the earliest stage of Parallels and like this production, Rick was like, yeah, you can use this property, whatever you need. What do you need me to do? And it was just constant selflessness and just, what do you need? What can I do for you? So like, Rick, thank you. Production value alone, just having this kind of place, we wouldn't have been able to. I don't have words. So just thank you. For real, thank you. And there's a video that I actually have written down with this. Let me pull this up. So July 22nd, first day we filmed in Tennessee, and I'll play that in just a second. And it's more on Aben Studios. Let me look at the comments. Let me see. Let me come up here. Amber says I have my necklace in the car. So yeah, everyone that was at that location got these little necklaces. So I wear mine constantly. Roman wears his constantly. Tony wears his. Becca wears his. Rooks is on their altar. Super good. So yeah, Justin Ord said I want this screamed at Horror Hound Weekend. I will work with you later. We will. Yeah. Amazing. Thank you for that offer. You won't be disappointed, I promise. Let me keep looking. Darren's is hanging up on his mirror. Yeah, ethereal. That is a good thing. So here's another scene that hasn't been seen by anyone other than people who were there, because the way that we were doing behind the scenes for this project was we obviously had everyone's phones going on, but then we also had a DJI Pocket 4K camera, and it was running all the time, as much as we could, and it was hidden in a few different places. And I guarantee you, in the final product, in the final movie, there is a scene where the DJI is visible, and I guarantee no one will be able to see it. It's hidden very well. So let me play this. This is behind the scenes during filming of a scene in that same grotto that we did. And no spoilers, but again, it's making you ask questions of like what's going on. So I just want to make sure it's the right one. Okay. Let me turn on.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I'm good with that. I think I want an insert after like clean up your face, and I want you. Is it cool if she climbs over the wall one more time? Yeah. I want to do it as just an insert, just a punch in for my little transition around it, in case you want to break up the pace. Or
where do you want to be?
I'm gonna have Roman do it.
I can.
Yeah. It's just like, well.
All right, here we go. I just need to put that light back right here.
Is my face
For sure.
Is my face?
I just want to get.
I
just want to get an insert of just over the top, like over.
What millimeter you got on that?
35.
Okay. Let's say you can put the 50 on it, and that might get you just close enough.
Alright. I'm gonna swap the lens real quick.
Yep, go for it. I'm gonna tape this bitch up.
When you edit this, all of those shapes are real.
The other thing too is, again, like a lot of the stuff I'm trying to remember, because like when we shot in Indiana, I didn't really realize the freedom of 4K and being able to just do whatever.
How much you can crop in.
And now I'm not as worried if I want a close up.
If you've got a mid, if you have a mid, you have a close up.
Like, so I'm more.
Yeah, if you have a mid, you have a close up.
Comfortable because I'm not so like, well, it didn't look.
Gives
right,
you a lot of
we're
freedom.
Close enough.
Gives you a lot of freedom in the edit to like, do I want a mid or do I want a wide? Do I want?
And then
even in a mid shot, you can do a mid shot of conversation and then just cut back and forth as a crop to make it look like it was two different angles.
The quadrant stuff I was doing with my shot list initially, I can do that in 4K because I can just move
the camera.
Literally all that stuff, like
you can zoom, you can crop in and then keyframe it to move, and
like
you got a slider
like
shot.
Movie Drive.
Yeah.
I was insanely into quadrant
framing. I mean, it's a lot of 300 Zack Snyder shots. That's how a lot of it was. There was a camera up close and a camera in the back, and they were both filming the same thing back and forth. But in the edit, he was able to zoom in from one camera to the other, so like cropping back, and that's how you get those epic, long sideways dolly shots in and out, in and out.
You need this area out of here. Oh no! We're almost done with it. We're just doing one
really
more.
quick before you start blowing.
Yeah.
What
one
do
more
you
shot.
want me? What am I doing?
The same thing as earlier when you came up here and you were laying down.
We're literally just redoing it, just making sure that he's going to punch in a little bit more to you. So it's the same.
It's just you climbing out. Yeah.
But if you need to go through the motions of the whole thing to get to that point,
If you
by
get
the
down
airport-
here, then it's a cut, probably.
Yeah.
If you get down here, yeah. Okay.
Batteries are very good. What? Thank you for being patient with me. Again, keeping me in check and telling me that. Because as soon as you go, no, I don't really like that. I don't want to do that. That makes me know that I'm. Sometimes it's because I don't have a clear vision of like what I'm not in your head about it. Well, and then sometimes I need to back up.
Are you hearing all of this? I'm playing.
I don't care.
It's his fault.
All right,
It's
the
always
face.
room's full.
I gotta change batteries, so you don't have.
Will you put your face about like right here where this thing's at?
I gotta change batteries.
Cool. That's all I need. Thank you. Yep. All right. Camera's rolling.
Yep. That's the last real hit. Audio speed.
All right. 6.1 echo, take one. Quiet on set.
All right. Camera set.
Are you crossing or staying there?
Camera set.
Action.
Cut it. No, that works. That's great. That's great. Cool.
Oh, am I done?
Yes. And then we have the bloody sheep wax, right?
So again, it's super exciting to kind of like finally reveal some of these kind of things. But again, if you just joined, that was some behind the scenes captured, and you can see that and way much more if you get a Blu-ray copy of the movie. Again, the link to our Indiegogo is below here, and we're going to continue showing off some things that are spoiler free. Now, obviously, that scene is like, oh, I have no idea what's going on. Why is she in the water? That's kind of a creepy room. Why is it pink? It'll all make sense when you watch the movie. So, yeah. There's a lot of comments going on, so I appreciate you a lot. I've seen a lot of live streams, and we've done a lot of live streams, and there hasn't been this much activity, so I appreciate you so much. We're going to continue looking through some things, and please continue asking questions about anything related to the production and what we've done, or anything related to this sort of thing. Very excited to talk about it, and we've kind of blocked out today to talk about it. So one of the other things, let me keep looking at the list of stuff that I wrote down that I can share, like different things that won't spoil the movie. Let me keep looking. So definitely drop the trailer again. Well, do we have anyone who's in the chat who hasn't watched the trailer yet? I guess, because I don't want to show it if everyone's already watched it. Yeah. So let me look through these things, because I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, I can just start sharing photos. Like, hey, wonder what that is. Super interesting. I'll just hide that. Wonder what that is. This is a really good photo. I like this one. I like this a lot. Super busy. So again, this is at Avon Studios in this little courtyard. And again, such an amazing energy with this place, because a little bit of context, like when this was done. So we had already filmed in Indiana, so half of the movie has already been filmed. We had that kind of month off period, and we had a bit of a schedule change, sort of last minute, where the last day in Tennessee was put in the first section, and then the first day that we had filmed was put in the last section. Why does my light keep changing on my webcam? That's weird. Anyway, sorry if that's distracting. Anyway, squirrel. But with that schedule change, it actually was a benefit because we wanted something very positive and uplifting, especially with a horror movie and a drama. Like a lot of stuff is very like depressing and meek and dark and, just not very uplifting at all. But spending basically a whole day in this kind of environment, very beneficial. It definitely helped morale in the coming days because Tennessee was very difficult. But with this, we were basically having a two-shot with Darren and RJ. So they were sitting down, having some dialogue back and forth. It gets a little heated. They talk about some exposition. They kind of bring the story out a little bit. And this area was just super nice to shoot in. And it's very colorful. Are you coming over? Hey, look who it is. Hey, babe, what are you doing?
I figured I'd come over here and tell you that I'm proud.
Hey, what?
I'm really proud of him.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of everyone. So, here, put this on. No.
I'm in it now.
What was your
Hello. Hi.
What was your favorite part of filming at Evan Studios?
Oh gosh, being there. So my favorite part about filming at Aben Studios, I think bringing all of my friends to such a beautiful location was probably my favorite thing, because that's one of my favorite places to be. Roo-roo. Yeah, that's me. Roo-roo. In this particular scene that we're looking at, my favorite part was when it's a blooper, and I'm going to spoil the blooper, but when RJ just goes, shh. It's here.
I can find that.
Oh, it's funny. It's great. But no, my favorite part of just this location was being at this location with people whom I call family. So,
Good deal.
all right, I'm gonna go back over here to my.
I love you. You're doing amazing. So yeah, I can try and find that blooper because it's actually very funny. Give me a second and go through all these files that I have. So with this blooper reel I'm about to load, I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but you can get the whole thing if you get a Blu-ray of the movie. So let me load this and then immediately pause it because I don't want to spoil anything. The fun of it is watching it for the first time. Oh, it's in Dropbox, so it's got to load. It's got to load back onto my computer. And I actually just re-rendered this specific file a few days ago and added a few more things into it. So there. Okay, I'll look. We again we encouraged everyone to record stuff and use their phone, and everyone was professional. There was no like threat or fear of like, oh, everyone's lazy and you're procrastinating and stuff. No, we had no worries of that. But we wanted to capture everything and have it as a memory. So it's still loading. Again, it's almost an hour long, almost 50 minutes long. So it's taken a bit to come back from Dropbox. Mark asks, going for any streaming services? Obviously, yes. When the project started, the lofty dream was just to get on Amazon Prime. This is going to sound disrespectful, but there's a lot of low-tier movies that I've watched on Amazon Prime, and using those as motivation and just going like, we can totally make a movie that's either that or above. And it just seems to me, even though it's kind of like looked at or like just kind of tossed away from a lot of people that I see comment in this kind of industry's groups and different chat rooms and stuff. It's like, oh, well, it's not important or whatever. But to me, like, that's a big deal, getting on Prime, even though it's free. There's nothing really that is like a major thing to have to do. It's a big deal. So obviously that, and then there's like Tubi and Pluto and all these other weird small ones that anyone can get on their phone. And Tony and I made a very conscious decision of like the ratio for the movie to be 2-to-1 because we knew that people predominantly would be either watching it on their phone or a device like that. And obviously we made it for larger displays because we shot in 4K and 6K, but I mainly watch stuff now on my phone, so I wanted to kind of like adapt my own patterns to have that kind of demographic and stuff. So yes, streaming services, but I don't know yet. Oh, it finally loaded. Okay. That was like perfect timing. Okay, let me pull this over and mute it so you can't have everything spoiled for you. And let me find that blooper. And the cool thing of what we've done with the bloopers is sort of put them in chronological order. And we did that the same way with the Slate compilation. So it's not when we filmed it, it's how it is in the movie. So the way that you're supposed to do it, I'm not telling you what to do, but please watch the movie first, and then you can go and do all the extra features and special stuff. That way you're not spoiled and whatever. So, okay. Let me unmute.
I had a bug or something right on my lens that was just hanging out here. It was just this giant dark shadow I had.
Do you trust me, Albert?
Of course I do, but I don't understand why we're doing this.
I'm sorry, I couldn't stop.
So yeah, that's basically what Rook was describing. So as it stands now, yeah, it was 49 minutes. It's a 49-minute file of nothing but bloopers and like funny, just funny things. I want to play a small game. So I'm gonna ask the people who are watching currently, pick a number between 1 and 49, and that's the minute that I'm going to put my cursor to in the blooper reel, and I'm going to look at it first just to make sure that it's not spoiling anything for the movie, but we'll play it. So the first person to give me a number between 1 and 49, I'll play that blooper, or around that, just to parentheses the scene or whatever. So we'll play a little game. Waiting. Seven. Ooh, so both of them were kind of pinned at the same time. So Anthony says 7, Jesse says 13. Roman, you're a little late. I'll look. That's it. Just 3. I don't want to spoil the whole thing. Okay, so just 3. So 7, 13, and 27. So give me 1 second. So let me mute again. Don't want to. So 7. Oh, this one's great. Yeah, this one's great. Okay, so we're going to do 7 first. So I'm extra, and I like doing things my way. Sometimes it's very annoying, and it gets on people's nerves. But if you're doing it, you might as well do it. So I'm not the blooper reel that you're going to get is not normal. There are some things that are funnier if the text is on the screen, kind of like subtitles. So I've sort of picked specific ones that happened that, to me, emphasize the comedy with it. So This is one of those. So the first one, Anthony, 7, and then we'll go to 13. So we'll see what that is. Again, if you like what you're seeing, this is a blooper reel for Parallels. Please donate. The link is below. If you're watching this later on and it's not live anymore, thank you. So let's see what this is, and hopefully you'll laugh.
Real quick, this one, full focus.
Is the door behind Crow supposed to be open?
No. It was open in my shot.
Was it?
Alright.
Well, shit.
It's open in my shot, but
You
it's
can't
just
see anything?
yeah. I was saying it's just the wall that you can see in my shot, like
Okay,
the white.
never mind.
So
Alright, well.
Hold for audio.
Crow, can I see that mark? Real quick. Lovely.
Yeah, hold for the noon bell.
Alright, I'm good back here.
we're holding for 12 bells.
Thank you, 12 bells.
I'm ready. Alright, think bells are done. Let's reset.
Nah, bells are never done.
That was the first 12, set of 12. There's actually 64 bells.
Alright, we're good out here. What the fuck?
No, we're not.
No!
Do they know what fucking time it is? Like, who the hell? It's 4 o'clock.
It's God's hour.
There's a guy up there being just a bitch.
Do you want to cut?
No, we're committed to this. We're two and a half
Okay,
minutes.
we're
in.
still holding.
Did the boat just die?
101 bells.
We're gonna feel like dicks when we Google this in 10 minutes.
Nah, there'll be another one. It's fine.
Let's just try.
Okay.
All right. So that was that one. So where we were filming in Indiana in this lovely house, there is a massive church. Actually, there's multiple churches in Logansport, but it was huge, and it's got a massive steeple and it's got a huge bell. So it was the funniest thing where literally it was like the people who were across the street at this church, it was like they knew that we needed to have silence and we were doing something important to us at least. And literally there are at least, from what I've counted, 49 bells that were just being rung in random times. And it was the most hilarious thing. And it was like a joke that we kept doing because obviously it would ring at like noon the next day or 4 the next day or something. But yeah, very funny. So hopefully, Anthony says, take a shot each time the bell rings. You would die. You would pass out and die. So Jesse said 13. So again, anyone who's viewing, this is a blooper reel that you can only get if you get the Blu-ray of the movie. So please donate below. So you said 13 minutes. Just looking, just looking. 13 minutes. No, Jesse, I'm going to ask you to give me another number. That one's kind of a, it's kind of a spoiler. Roman says 27. So let's go to 27. 27 minutes. Mm, well, this one's kind of a jab at Darren. So this is 27 minutes. So look at that lovely face. So this is my fault, to be honest. 33. Okay, I'll write that down. So this is kind of my fault. So the way that I wrote the story, very confusing. And again, I'm giving complete props to Darren and Jason and RJ for completely memorizing the entire script better than me. So this is just issues with getting through the dialogue, and some of the stuff either has alliteration or it's just like, the tip of the tongue. It just doesn't, So anyone wants to take a screen grab of that, just lovely face. Love you, Jason. So let me unmute.
Tombs filled with drawings of creatures. We found something monument. Fuck. I gotta start over. Huge rocks carved with the Huge rocks carved with history and legends. Huge rocks carved with Fuck. Okay. Huge rocks carved with history and legends. Carved out Fuck. I told him he was wrong to want such things. Shit, I gotta start over. My post-it was in the way.
So that's that one. So again, that's just like basically the bloopers take a jab at everyone, myself included. But don't take that as an example of Darren's performance. He was incredible. It was hard to take your eyes off of what he was doing in his performance. So that literally is maybe one of 3 situations that he was flubbing lines. He's amazing. So again, love you, Darren. Okay, so last one. So Jesse changed from 13 because that was a spoiler to 33. So let's go to 33 minutes. 33 minutes. Oh, that one might be a spoiler too. Oh no, okay. So this one's okay. So truth be told, I'm glad that most of you said stuff at the beginning of the movie, because basically there's a point halfway through where a lot of the promotional stuff, the photos, the things that we've like shared, it's mainly the beginning of the movie. There is a turning point near halfway through, or at least the beginning of the third act, that we haven't been able to share, because any scene that we do is a spoiler, or any kind of like frame is leading you to like know what goes on. So it's kind of hard to hide those kind of things. I mean, I think I shared, yeah. So Jesse commented and says, Minnie just said, "Can you help me feed Amelia?" That was one of the funniest, hardest laughs that we've all had on set. So that was again another, just sometimes you say something and it's funnier than you imagined it on paper, and it's just hilarious. I might show that one. I might not. I might leave that one. So yeah, here's Jesse's second pick for 33 minutes.
Yeah, there's definitely. Will you flip the blinds to face going up? Yeah, that'll help out. So I can see the light. Oh,
This one?
The other spin it. The spinner.
There's not a spinner.
It's the left one. Just pull the top one down. Oh, well, it won't go all the way. There you go. Can you kind of fix the bottom? Yeah, it's broken. Shit.
Yeah, it's broke. I was trying to fix it when I blacked the windows out, but it's not happening. I mean, it wasn't that bad when I did it earlier, but no, it wasn't you. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to.
Would you like to set?
So yeah, we had fun. And yeah, that window was always broken. That was actually like right after we moved into our new house, and it was kind of neat to christen our new home for the next 30 odd years with filming a movie in it. So that was pretty neat. But yeah, it was totally Becca's fault. She broke the window. It's totally on her. She owes us a shade or a blind. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, that's some of the blooper reel. So thank you so much for uh, adding to this kind of live stream and like playing that little game. Um, so what was the other thing that I wanted to do? Oh yeah, so we had another backer. Let me look who that is. I'll just throw this on here. There we go. Give me a second. Again, thank you for everyone who is tuning in and watching. I hope your Saturday is going amazing. Appreciate your support, sharing our page, contributing. So, our most recent backer is Joe Schmaltz. I don't know if I pronounced that name right, but Joe, thank you very much. You got a digital copy, so I appreciate you. I do have to say, with a digital copy, you're not going to get all the extra special features that we have, including the Blu-ray, or sorry, not the Blu-ray, the behind the scenes and the featurette and the bloopers and the slate compilation and all that other stuff. So, but I thank you. So, okay. So we've been going for maybe an hour and 40 minutes, almost 2 hours. There's a few other things that I want to share, and then obviously there's a special thing that I want to do. I don't know, I keep going between folders here. There is a selection of videos that I want to share with you all that I haven't really seen, so it's kind of like a blind reaction. So I kind of described this earlier in the stream. 3 days after we wrapped filming, I was by myself and I had a very emotional recording of like a testimonial of like what had happened and like an Oscar speech of just thanking different people that were on the cast and crew. So I've only kind of skimmed through that, and I kind of for this kind of celebration that the movie is basically near being finished and we're trying to promote and again being transparent. I was never able to really articulate to the cast and crew how much they mean to me. So hopefully with this recording that I did, that I don't really remember what I've said, I don't embarrass myself and do stuff. So I'll show that in a minute. Let's do these two videos. So June 24th and focus pull. Do. Focus pull. Okay. Load that up. No, hold on. Very big. Hold on. So here's another little behind the scenes video. And cute thing with this is this isn't just like a throwaway take or a stand-in, just practice kind of thing and rolling with the motion. This take is actually in the movie. So that's pretty cool. And this little setup didn't last forever. So we had kind of a makeshift broken TV to be a monitor so that Tony can pull focus. And Roman was in another room showcasing RJ, which you'll see in a minute. And he had his Ronin and his rig. And again, super amazing to have both Tony and Roman on this project because they're able to speak to each other without really speaking. They have this weird language that they share, and it's super cool to like see them work together. So here's this little behind the scenes thing.
Still
she in the corner?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even see it.
I did.
I'm too focused on.
Treat it like Army of the Dead.
So yeah, I won't go at all into any more detail of that scene and other stuff that's in there. So yeah, this is exciting. We're like just sharing a bunch of stuff. And then let's go to June 25th and 19. I guess any one of these. So I know these highlight a super important person that I'm glad that I met during Parallels, and I got to hang out with more during filming of The Undesirables, which is Don Perkins. Super glad that I know you and that we gel together. You're an amazing person.
One that's smaller. Yeah, I got one that'll work kind of the same for the back. Okay. It's the thicker stuff. I'll show you.
So let me turn this down just a little bit. So Tony wanted to do a ring light for the story, and he took inspiration from Roger Deakins and a ring light that he had built, and we kind of, not we, I mean Tony and Don worked on this, of this ray of, light bulbs, just easy enough, but the massive wattage and like the power to power that, we went through, we burned out 2 dimmers, which were industrial style dimmers, while doing this to kind of like, yeah, what's a ring light? But with this, and again, nice butt, Don, nice butt. That's Roman doing the cinematography there, so thank him. It worked out so good. So, like, literally within where this is, they bolted it to the wall, and on this kind of string cordage, like thing, they just attached this ring light to it, and we mainly used it for a lot of the round table scenes. So with the middle of the movie, a little bit, there's a lot of dialogue, very exposition heavy, that needs good lighting, and this top-down light just was great. Like, it had this glow over it, and I think in this third video we finally turned it on for the first time, and that's when we burn out one of the dimmers. But it was great. Such a weird thing, and again, Don was amazing. Can't wait to work with you again. So I'll turn this back up.
If you can loop it. Oh, we're so close, baby. Oh, look at that. We're saints. All right.
Right.
Yeah. I think I'm just more so worried about
No, we'll just gap tape it out on this side. And this time we can just hit it in a couple of spots just to keep it up there. It doesn't have to be.
We have that? Yeah. Here's my girl. There it goes. Completely tucked?
No, just hit it a couple of times down the wall there.
So much stuff now, I don't know. I'm sure I'll leave some tools here. This be put back in the...
Yeah, that's Daniel's.
Yeah.
This stuff. And then this. That's fine. We have options of being able to plug it in wherever we want. So. No, we're good. We got plenty of stuff this weekend with most of when we did our outdoor stuff last night, and we had battery operated lights with it. It turned out pretty good. Where we're kind of like High Frank's Park. Oh, okay. So this Alright.
And
Striking.
oh, it's lovely.
That's pretty bad, dude.
I think it works.
Turn on your blue light and see what happens with that.
What?
Your blue light.
Oh.
So that was the first time that we actually lit it, and minutes later, like maybe not even full minutes later, it turned off and it burned out the dimmer that we had connected to it. And there's a later clip within like the making of and like joking around. And again, we've tried to record everything. There is a joke that's made by Dennis where we had a bookshelf break and we had a fire. We had to put out a fire. Again, things happen on set, and it's it's funny. But again, memories and trying to collect everything and being able to talk about it with visual aids is really cool. So there's that. And then I think. Oh man, hold on. Yeah. So Anthony says, so how many sets and locations did you guys have to move to? So we first filmed in Indiana, and it was mainly the house. So the house that we filmed in was actually one that was being lived in by Rebecca and Tony. And it's gorgeous. It was built in like 18 something something. That's in the trivia that eventually will go on to IMDb. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Gorgeous house, and they were gracious enough, super thankful to them to be able to film in that house just because it's gorgeous. Like it's a set piece. I mean every bit of that house we tried to use, and it was very good, very production value. That was basically it. There was one other place that we filmed in Indiana, but that was basically it. So a house and then a road. Tennessee though was a little bit different. So we filmed at Avon Studios, and then the basement of the movie house was in a completely different area. So when you watch the movie, all of the stuff that's not in the basement that's in the house is in Indiana. But when you watch, like when they go downstairs to the basement, that's in Tennessee. And then we filmed some stuff in our house. So again, like that clip that I showed of the bloopers of Becca breaking our blinds, that was filmed in one of our bedrooms, as well as some other stuff within the movie. So all in all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Rook was about right. So about 7, including the 2 locations that were basically outside. So all in all, it's a very small production. Like when it started, we wanted to keep it very close knit because it was a super shoestring budget, and before this exploded into be what it is now, we didn't want to film in a lot of places because we were basically doing resource filmmaking. We were seeing what we had available to us and what we could get away with the least amount of money. That way we can put money towards other stuff. So yeah, about 7. So yeah. Okay, no current questions yet. I want to show one more video, I think, and then we'll get into like the final thing, that I want to show before we kind of close down the stream. And that was, let's do June 24th. Did I already do that? Scene 9. Oh, that's on the DJI. Okay. So June 24th, scene 9. Okay. BTS door. Okay. Again, I'm just making sure I'm not clicking on the wrong one.
But again, that's you know, that works for this close up. Like that you know, that works for that. But I need to do something wider to establish the front of the house and then kind of coming into it.
Yeah.
So I may move back that far for this next one.
Okay.
Unless you want to roll again on this.
No, that one's fine. Go ahead and get the wider one.
Okay.
I just want to make sure before we stop, we get close-ups of Darren. I just want to make sure, because I like yours are good and you look good from up there, but I do want to. I want to get from how close you are to him and have that there. So basically, you'll still be giving your lines off, but maybe Tony may just be like right here, or your camera may be right in front.
Sounds good.
Want me outside?
You want to go outside since you're on a wider ledge?
Yeah.
Get the wider shot. I'll move up far up on top of the stairs and kind of shoot down.
Ingenuity.
You can keep that.
Swap my rig.
I might do that then.
Please keep that, Daniel. I don't need it. I mean, get it? Yep.
And then, Darren, have you stand on your mark?
Oh, it's gonna be a wider shot though.
This is not a wide shot. This is an 85.
Honestly.
His is wider, but
Dan, can the address be on camera, or do you want to hide the number?
Well, we don't know what the rest of the address is.
yeah, I mean, I would like to hide the numbers as well as possible, personally.
Because if not, I can eliminate it in post.
Yeah, you can match that.
Yeah, I can clone this and do whatever. Hey Nick, will you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Will you take this off for a second and push it down to me?
Hey, thank you.
There you go. Perfect. Saves your arm.
Yep.
Hey, Daniel?
Dan?
Dan?
Yeah.
Quick question.
Yes.
We just run up here real quick and
Yes.
show you something?
You got it.
Darren, just hang it on your mark. Just want you to check out this monitor real quick. Are you cool with the sidewalk and the grass right here?
Yeah, because you can't see.
I can't. I don't know if you're cool, but I just want to make sure sidewalk is.
That's the line.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Honestly,
I got that LUT on too, so that's why you're gonna like the contrast.
if you do from that, we won't need a close-up.
Right. This is
Yeah,
this
that's
is
literally
this is it.
Me likey.
And then when you push in, will you move to your mark in here real quick for me?
6141. If you get lost.
I want to see what that looks like.
Okay.
It's very lost.
6141.
Can't let you
Yeah.
I know Jason's really
Loud.
is he loud?
Yeah, a little.
Okay. I just want to make sure if anyone needs correction with.
Not yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it here.
Where the PA somewhere in here?
What do you need?
I need this light. That's the curtain that's in that room. Can you get that out of there?
You can close the door.
I prefer to get it out of there because it's in my shot when he comes into this room. Dennis, can you help her move that? Just move that stand real quick. You guys both want to pick it up and just move it into the next room, please. Thank you.
Actually, yeah, I'm just gonna stand up here because I'm not in any
You
framage.
you can plug that back into the camera.
I'm going
To
to do that.
support.
Boop boop. Boop boop.
Looking for Richard on my fucking hair.
Why'd you kill yourself, you asshole?
Is that the one that you weathered?
Alright. If everybody wants to get back to the marks. Back to one?
Yeah, back to one, please.
And then I'm gonna have you, Cameron, you're gonna be in the shot. We're gonna shoot in that direction here in a minute. So lady.
Yep.
All right, speeding.
Speeding. Camera rolling.
C94A, take 3.
Perfect. Walking up.
Actually, hold on real quick. Will you stand at your mark for me?
Yeah, we will.
Real quick, this one. Full
Is the
focus.
back, is the door behind Chris supposed to be open?
No.
So that's where it leads into that kind of blooper. So, and again, I'm just sharing these kind of things because, like, as you can tell, this is a prime example of a video of like so many different things happening at the same time. So around this, obviously we have Roman and Tony operating on their own mental brainwave. We have Nick paying attention to everyone, that way he can capture it. And plus, having your boom and your headset on, like you can hear everyone in every room, and he's like paying attention. I'm trying to focus on everyone and also keep track of the shot and what we need and what everyone's supposed to be doing. Becca is taking care of everyone and making sure that everything's like, moving and stuff. Super fun. And also, I'm gonna have to tell Nick to change his passcode on his phone, just in case. He's probably got a new phone by now. So yeah, I'll go ahead and turn that off. The video that I just had, Nick set his passcode on his phone. It's fine. No one's gonna know where Nick lives. So yeah. So again, if you're watching live or later on, the Indiegogo link is below. We're going to close down the stream momentarily. Okay, so I'll show the trailer one more time, and then I am going to show off that one last video, my reactional thing of recording after filming was done. Hopefully that's interesting and not extremely embarrassing. So let's watch the trailer one more time.
I found the gate that leads to the outside, by which the ancient ones, whoever seek entrance to our world, keep eternal watch. When the gates open, I'll cause the dead to rise and devour the living. I'll give the dead power over the living, so that they may outnumber the living.
Alrighty. Jesse says, fucking honored to be a part of this. I'm just so incredibly proud of everyone. Thank you. Just thank you. Well, Jesse, thank you. Because again, there's many levels of your importance in this movie and being able to do stuff. Plus, you still need to get with us for some extra things for the movie, and we'll just leave it at that. Because you know what I'm talking about, but no one else knows what we're talking about. Let me change just a few more things here because I want to mess with my OBS just for a second because I want to move where my stuff is. So give me a moment. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments and we will answer them, but I'm just moving some stuff around. So give me a second. Do that. Do that. Okay. And can I change that now? Okay. So, okay, I've made my webcam kind of like translucent, sort of. Give me a second. Okay. because I didn't want to be like super doing the thing. A music video on bonus features? I don't know about that. I mean, that'd be neat. I don't know. That's something we're gonna have to talk about. Mantra of Morta. I will say, Mantra of Morta is featured in the movie. Their song Guts is very interesting in terms of lyrics with how it's related to the movie in a very interesting coincidence sort of way. And that song is featured in 2 different parts of the movie. So who knows? That would be a funny little collaboration. So who knows? Okay, let me go to my files and see where my stuff is. So Dan after filming. So that's what this is. Okay. Wow, I'm really blown out here. I don't know if I mean, yeah, that way you can watch the video without like, stuff. Maybe I'll go up here. Anyway, so what this is, and this will be the last like selection of videos that we'll do for this. I've only skimmed through this a little bit, but it's on the DJI, so it's tracking my face. So I do know that it's kind of shaky. So if you're nauseous or motion sick, I do apologize. But I know this is maybe the best way for me to convey my thanks to the cast and crew, because from memory, I do know that I kind of highlight a lot of people and I get emotional. And from this video, I am sleep deprived because we've just, been filming and in production. I don't know if I like that. I'm being dumb. Yeah, I may just stay like that. But it's 3 days after we wrapped filming, and everything happened so fast. Like obviously there's goodbyes and you say your piece and everyone leaves, but like I had a little bit of time to digest what had happened, and I don't think I spoil anything in the movie. I hope not. So whatever. But I haven't watched these in full, so I felt like I would do kind of like a reaction, but also a transparency thing of like talking about the movie as it was fresh in my head, and then hopefully have a nice way of trying to convey how much everyone means to me. So if anyone in the cast and crew is watching this now or later on, thank you. And it's segmented in a few different spots, so we'll try and watch this. Yeah. So again, I'll keep this link here. The Indiegogo is live. If you're watching this, thank you so much. Cool. So I have the gimbal working, so it's pretty neat. So I can walk around. I sound so tired. Stuff. You can follow me. That's pretty neat. Okay. Hey everyone. My name is Daniel Goad, writer and director of the insane horror film Parallels. I've said that a few times over the last few years, and it's just hard to imagine where we've come from. Like, I don't even really know where to begin this video. I've recorded a lot of behind the scenes and production like steps and stages, phases of the movie, and some walkthroughs of the storyboards and how things were created, and a lot of stuff that we'll put in the behind the scenes featurette and stuff. But I've never really done like a video diary or a vlog or anything like that. So I don't really have a baseline to start with. Just if I'm over here, I'm checking my phone. So where do I start? It's July 28th. We wrapped principal photography of the entire movie 3 days ago on the 25th. This movie, this project, this adventure has been one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. I'm so proud and happy, and at the same time I still feel that stressful anxiety feeling of not wanting to let anyone down. Everyone took this project so seriously, and I couldn't be more grateful and thankful of just the level of focus that everyone had. It's insane. I just don't. I don't even know. I don't know what to talk about. So I wrote down, obviously, some names I don't want to forget. I want to touch on everyone. I wrote down some figures. So this movie started as a story, as a small little story that looks nothing like what it's going to look like now. The finished product is a complete. There were 22 iterations of this story over the last 6 years. Everything was changed. Every character. I do want to comment on that for just a quick moment. There should be more than that. I think that's a number that I kept saying because that was a solid number of what I remembered. But from when we were filming, like before Indiana hit, it was maybe 21 or 22. But we omitted a handful of pages from the script in Indiana, and then a few things changed in the month leading up to Tennessee, and then in Tennessee we had a complete rewrite of some of the finale. And again, I've learned tons of lessons for this to help on my next project and the next thing that Rook and I do and what we put our effort into next. But you learn a lot by doing, and I definitely got my ass handed to me in a number of ways of how to do certain things or how to write certain scenes and how to prep for certain things. So experience. Had its arc updated, plotline, dialogue, locations. It's a completely different movie, but it was still parallels. It was still the same idea. Parallel started on my phone in March of 2015. Fast forward 2,324 days later, we finish filming. I can't process what has happened. Last month, between June 23rd and June 27th, we filmed in Logansport, Indiana, and it was fantastic. The time that we took in pre-production and the planning, shooting for the edit rather than just obnoxious coverage, the talent that we had in front and behind the camera, people that we needed to work with, people that helped us, the people who resourced things to us. It couldn't have gone better. And that started our journey on this project because it was now in motion. Before, it was on paper, it was in a computer, it was an idea, it was a story, something that you told someone. Be like, hey, imagine this. In Indiana, we finally put it on something that we could play back. We could see the footage, we could know kind of where the movie's going. And in Indiana, we We changed some dialogue, we cut some scenes, we knew that some stuff would fit with others. We had a better idea. We were structured better. We were comfortable. We were in a beanbag chair. We were in a floaty in the pool. It was great. We had about a 2 to 3 week period off. We needed to finish filming the other half of the movie in another location, which was our basement location, and a lot of other scenes took place around that. So in Tennessee, we filmed between July 21st and 25th, and that was last week. The Tennessee filming had 90%, 99% of special effects, the huge emotional tones of the movie, some of the more difficult acting pieces, and strategically, we needed Indiana first to build up the bonds, the exposition, lay the groundwork of what we were doing. That way, in Tennessee, we would have a more close-knit group. We had our coven. We had the ability to know what we were doing. We could instantly look at something and go, okay, I know instinctively what you need. You don't even have to finish your sentence. It was great. Now, personally, because this is my vlog, and this is my thoughts, my experience of everything. I'll just repeat it. This was one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. I am a very introverted person. I enjoy being alone. I like having my own time. I like closing my bubble and bringing up the gate and filling the moat and just letting my castle be my castle. Stuff like this and working on film sets and being in sort of productions and needing to talk to other people and convey certain things, it allowed me sort of a release. It allowed me to, be out there, put myself out into the thing and create something. On all those other film sets that I worked on, I was almost kind of unknown, invisible, I'll see if I can put this up here so I can see it. I just want to know if it stops recording or something. Anyway, that's gonna fall. I'll put it up here so I can see what's going on. On all the other film sets that I worked on, film sets, I'll get some water because this lovely thing can follow me and do whatever. I was either a gaffer or a gopher, sound, just someone to hold a tape roll. I feel like at that point I was insignificant. I was just a helper. I was just another person to have a portion of lunch or dinner at the end of the day, but who helps carry a heavy tote or a box. So, which we had those on set. We had people who needed to do that, but I guarantee you, no one was insignificant on this production. I thank every single person of every minute of every day. This was so difficult. The point I'm getting is on all those other film sets, I just felt like if I walked away, everything would continue. If I didn't do X, Y, Z, then it didn't matter because it was going to be done by someone else anyway. Or at least what I was doing wasn't super important. Actually, I need to show this cool ass necklace. I need to have that out, but I have the microphone, so Gotta keep it up. With this being my directorial debut, I had to be everywhere, at all times. I had to listen to everyone. I had to be able to sift through all of the noise and pay attention to every conversation, every plan, where things were, how our charging station was, where the food was, the timing, where someone was transporting to, where an item was, where the props were, how things were being laid out, my script, how everything was being done, the scenes that we needed, the action, the emotion. I needed to take care of our actors. I needed to figure out where everything was. I needed to make sure I was eating. It was the most difficult thing I have done in my life. Every morning, it wasn't so bad in Indiana. I'll tell you this. I'm getting ahead of myself. Don't think of the adjectives I'm using bad. It's, I'm happy. This is very good. I'm just talking you through my process. In Indiana, it was new. It was fresh. I'd never experienced anything like this before, and it was so electric. Everything was just buzzing. Everyone was very just in it, and it was new. When we came back to Tennessee, it was kind of like that resurgence. It was like flicking back on that power supply and having that recycle of energy go in, and it was such an entertaining thing to be able to. It was, I don't even know what words to say. Like, when you can have someone to bounce your energy off of, it makes the whole day better. If everyone's kind of down or not paying attention, or there's always kind of like a weak link in any job I've ever been on, or any kind of thing. It's just like, if someone's not there and if they're not giving it their all, it's kind of just like, well, why am I trying so hard? Or, why am I putting my energy up so high? But for Parallels in both Indiana and Tennessee, everyone was working so hard, and everyone was there. We were always pushing forward, and it's just wonderful. In Indiana, I didn't feel the stress so much. It was the first month of filming. I was just so happy that it was being done. Again, 6 years, 4 months, and 10 days. Think of the last thing that you have done that took that long. 6 years, 4 months, and 10 days. So, when Tennessee came around, it was involving the most difficult scenes, the longest days, special effects that needed to be done. They needed to work. And the stress got to me. I absolutely 100% will be transparent with you. The stress got to me. It was really hard. Some days I woke up and I was in such pain from anxiety in my stomach. I just couldn't stop shaking. I couldn't stop throwing up every morning. Like, when I was dumping footage, I would try and lay down in increments, and just kind of like have like a 15-minute nap, check the computer, 15-minute nap, check the computer. And where I was sleeping, it wasn't super cold. Like, I had a good blanket, I had my cot, I had a fan, and I was shivering. I was shivering so bad, it just hurt. My spine hurt, and it was all my anxiety. When I got cold chills, it was because I was freaking out. And the fan, I kept pushing the fan away and pulling it back, pushing it away, pulling it back, flipping the blanket off of me, flipping it on. And it sucked. It sucked so much because I couldn't get any sleep, but no one got sleep. It was, everyone sacrificed for this project. So I don't want to take anything away. It's just this is what I'm talking about. But no, everyone had a lack of sleep, and they kept pushing. Everyone had just enough time to take a nap and get some food and whatever, and everyone was just keep pushing forward. And I thank all of you so much for what you sacrificed and what we got on camera, because it's beautiful. Just all the footage that I've reviewed so far, it just looks so good. It's just got to piece it together. But every morning when I was loading up the car or making sure that we had the wardrobe we needed, we had props for the day, knowing what we needed to do over the next 16 hours, I was throwing up. I was dry heaving. I was shaking, and it was just like, I have to get this done. This needs to be done. There are way too many people counting on me. I brought all these people together. It's on me. And literally there was one morning. It's really hard. This is one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. But I'm happy. I'm happy that it's one step closer to being done. We are so close to having something and it being out of my head. Like, it's such a relief to finally have it out. It's out. Yes, there's things that can still be done in editing. We can still add a few things, change a few, we can be tricky and sly, and editing is magic. So we can do whatever we want there, but it's like, it's out. It's done. Darren took my Patrick to a level I never had on paper, never had on Post-its, never had in anything. RJ gave me a different Albert that I didn't know that I needed, but it helped the story. Jason was incredible. There was a time where I thought that because this was a smaller project that I would play Anders. I would play that character. All of these characters are in somewhat a part of me, and I felt like I had enough there. Shoo, buddy. That's weird. That's weird sharing that kind of thing with a bunch of people online. Yeah, so that it cut off. Yeah, let's keep watching. This is like my own personal episode of like Maury or I was about to say Seinfeld. Yeah, let's just go with that. Not Jerry Springer or anything. Shoo, buddy. In my reservoir, something like there therapy. I could pull from that and I could be Anders. But Jason, you killed it. You killed it. It was amazing. It's just insane. It's just insane that it's done, but it's not done. At the same time. So let me just go through a few things. I wrote everyone's name down, and I wanted to have just a thank you to let me talk about some people. I didn't know if I wanted to do it like this or if I wanted to write out something like really long, make another 2,000 word post or something. Oh my God. So this is in no order. This is in no order at all. I just wrote down the names that, that came to me, and I'll probably skip around the page just to be like, nah, I'll go top to bottom, whatever. It's my Oscar speech. I would like to thank Colin, the love of my life, my rock, the anchor that literally keeps me solid. Thank you. None of this would have been possible at all. Because the story started on my phone, and the only reason why it got more than that was because I talked to you, and I talked to other people, and you pushed me to be more creative to make it a little bit longer? Well, why don't you add this? Are you sure that you want to kind of do something like that? Like, are you inspired here? Take this and, work on this and do whatever. And it's just like everything else over the years, it's just like the time, the effort, the money, the focus, the support, the ability for you to go, well, no, it's fine. Go work on your story. Go write something. It's fine. And then just everything. And then, yes, we did tremendous with Indiegogo. Without Indiegogo, we wouldn't have been able to make this movie at all. 100%. Everyone who supported this movie, thank you, because we're indebted to you. But even after we raised close to 16,000, it was 15,000 something or whatever, we still needed more money. We still weren't able to pay everyone. We weren't able to get rooms for everyone for hotel or motel. There were tons of things that kills me that we weren't able to provide and do. But were we able to feed everyone? Absolutely. Were we able to provide drinks and water and snacks and the ability to just get the things that we needed with equipment and props and wardrobe and just XYZ? Yes. Did we have to spend quite a bit of personal money from it? Yes. But is it okay? Absolutely. We made a movie. We did the thing. So let me just check my thing. Yeah, we're good. Just don't want it to stop recording or whatever. So Colin, my penguin, I love you. I would be nothing. I would be nothing without you. I wouldn't be here on this planet alive if it weren't for you. So that's the best that I can say there. Can't wait to do another one with you. Tony. Mr. Tony Walters. I'm so glad that you wanted to work on this project with me. And I'm even more glad that when we continued and when things got difficult, and I know I'm hard on myself, I'm negative on myself more than anyone, and even though if I was annoying and I was making certain decisions that maybe not were the correct one or the most efficient one, you kept me on track. You kept me level and was real with me. You were completely direct and were like, maybe this shot doesn't work. There's a lot of stuff that you're doing here that may be redundant. Are you sure you want to do this angle? Does this make sense to the story? You're amazing. You're amazing. And again, harping on the footage, highlighting. It looks great. This movie is beautiful. If nothing else, you'll want to watch this movie to go, well, what does the next shot look like? What is the next color palette that they're going to do? This looks great. It's just, I'm so glad, dude, that you came into my life. I'm very happy that I met you on Kill Dolly Kill, as well as Rebecca, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. But it's just I'm just so thankful that you're in my life because you've made it better. You're a great friend. It's easy to talk to you. You're super cool. You're super rad. And it's just awesome. Rebecca, one of the most important people on this production, bar none. And I'm not kidding. Becca is the most modest and aggressively motivating people I know, that I've ever known. It is absolutely easy. If you were in front of a commanding line in battle, if you were going up against the orcs and a dragon and some rock monsters, absolutely I would get behind you because you would be the loudest voice, the most aggressive war face. It is so easy to get behind you and just go, yeah, we can do this. We can do this. You kept everything in order. And as much as I tried to feel like I was doing certain things and I was making certain mistakes or doing whatever or saying something, you kept us on schedule. You made sure that wardrobe was great. You had everyone in front of you going, are you okay? Have you eaten? What do you need? Okay, what do you need? Is there anything I can do for you? Here's some forms that I need to sign. Sign this, take care of this. Where's food? How long is it going to be to this? 15 minutes? Okay, 45 minutes. Okay, do we need to schedule something? Where's the makeup? What do we need to do? You were everywhere. You were everywhere, and it was fantastic. Especially when we started in Indiana, it was weird for me because I had never had someone in my life in that kind of scenario, other than like a significant other, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, who was that close to you, that was constantly like on you, like, you know, are you okay? What do you need? Is there anything I can do for you? What do you need next? What would you like me to prep for you? And Becca was always there. Every time I sat down, every time I looked panicked or confused, every time that I went back to the computer or I checked my notes or anything, it was just like they sacrificed everything. They put everything away, and it was just like, what do you need? I'm here for you. I don't have any words. You can't. I am indebted. And again, just like Tony, I'm so happy that we met on Kill Dolly Kill. I'm so happy that we were able to bond and we can talk freely and are able to just directly go, this is something I like, this is something I hate, and there's just no bullshit. And it's amazing. So I love you and Tony. It's ridiculous. I'll just keep going down. Nick Barr is incredible. Nick, you're one of the most, you're everywhere. I keep making the joke of like, if you're looking for Nick, if you need to say his name, don't say his name, just look behind you and he'll be there. He's a constant shadow. Nick did a fantastic job with our audio and sound and just being there, being just another set of hands, another opinion, another valid set of eyes to go, this is better than this, or maybe we can do this instead of this. You're one of the most genuinely nice people I've ever met. And you're so easy to talk to. You're in a good mood all the time. And I'm going to be repeating the same thing for everyone. It's just everyone was so keen on going forward. No one was like a sandbag that was just like, nah, I'm gonna go to maybe a level 4 today. I'm not gonna go to 10 at all. Like I'm good being here. It was just insane. And just Nick had like his utility belt of things. If you needed a knife, if you needed a light, if you needed a battery, something, it was just like, yeah, I can pull this out and I can do whatever. I love everyone on this production. I love everyone on this production. Kiki is fantastic. Kiki, thank you so much for helping on this. You fit right in with everyone. I just loved having you on set. I wish we could have talked more. I wish I could have talked to everyone more. But it was just like, no one felt out of place. So I appreciate you so much for lending your equipment and lending your opinion and your eyes on certain things to just go, well, maybe this needs to be a certain way. Thank you. Roman was a surprise. In Indiana, before we started filming, literally a week, not even a full week, we had an inkling that maybe this was possible for Roman and 605 to join. And Roman reached out to us and was like, hey dude, got room for one more? And we collectively, Tony and I were just like, absolutely. what do we need to do? What do we need to provide? What can we do to get you here? Roman's involvement in this project, and I can't say this lightly or stress this enough. If Roman wasn't on set, this would be a different movie entirely. And I say that for the end result of like how the movie will look, because we used his camera and his gimbal, his Ronin, for stuff that we did in Indiana, as well as behind the scenes and behind the camera. Roman is one of the most heartfelt, gracious, generous people I've ever known, because even when you're exhausted and you're done and the day is, crazy, we're all gross and sweaty, we've been up for hours and hours and hours, and we're so tired, the tops of our knees like hurt, like our elbow, like every joint, and like just our hair hurts, like just different, just wanting to lay down. You were always pushing forward. You were like, how can we improve morale? How can we do this? You were setting up shots when we were on lunch and break. You made sure that if a bag or a light, a rig, something was set up, if we needed highlight, if we needed to block something, if we needed a flag set up, you were there. You played music for us. You made sure that we had snacks. You got M&Ms for us. You were just always in such a good professional mood, and you were having fun. You allowed us to vibe off of you, and it was great. I love you. Oh, Cameron and Patty. Now, Patty wasn't with us in Tennessee, but both Cameron and Patty were with us in Indiana, and the food was amazing. The ability for us to never have to worry about what lunch was, what dinner was. I didn't actually even know what the schedule was. Like, I was concentrating on everything else, and I was just like, well, I know I'm going to eat, or maybe eat, but I'm just so glad. I'm so glad that you and Patty had the ability to help us, and you wanted to be involved, and feeding the cast and crew is just so important, and everything went well. Everything went well, and it was thanks to you and Patty. So thank you, Cameron, thank you, Patty, for keeping us as sane as possible and making sure that we had some bang-ass sandwiches, and that pot roast and mashed potatoes was like, oh my God. It was just, it really, really helped. We still have leftovers in the refrigerator that we're eating. I'm actually going to eat it after this video, of that baked feta pasta that you made on the last day. So yes, 3 days later, I'm still eating leftovers from the set. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Let me check this again. Oh yeah, we're good. You got plenty of time. Matt. Oh, did it not follow me anymore? Hold on. Is it following me now? Okay. So Matt Cox, one of our people from Indiegogo. You bought a role in the film, which is incredible. Thank you still for giving us money so that we can make this movie. And then you got a few other perks. So you gave us more money. And when we were talking almost immediately during the Indiegogo, let me actually take this back so that I can do this, whatever. When we were talking, we knew that we wanted to have you on board. Like, we know we needed PAs. Every set needs a production assistant. And we knew that we needed someone who wanted to be involved. It's a different thing if you have friends that you can ask for help, but if they're not really interested in film and movie, if they don't really want to do anything, what's the point? you know, like it's good to have people that you can depend on and go, hey, will you help me move? Can you put my couch in your truck and take it to here? Can you pick me up from this and give me a ride? But when you have friends that, you know, you can say, hey, do you want to help me on a film set and be with me and work our asses off for 16, 17 hours a day? Do you want to do that? and then it's different when it's like, hey, do you want to go to a set where you don't know a single person and work for 16, 17 hours a day and make a movie? Like, there's different things there. And honestly, Matt was incredible, dude, for real, with the limited things that I have worked on and whatever over the last 9 years or something. There's a level, there's like a work ethic of certain people. Sometimes movies have the most tremendous people that will do everything. They'll break their body, they will be constantly moving, and they will just sacrifice themselves for the project. Doesn't matter if the movie is going to be good, doesn't matter if it's going to be a big production or an independent, they just break their body. There's other people who don't do a damn thing. They sit and eat snacks all day long.
I was into that. I was kind of like, you know. So yeah, the DJI was cutting this every like 18 minutes. So yeah, this is heavy stuff. I'm glad I did this. This is weird. It's kind of embarrassing, but again, this is like the therapist couch kind of thing. So we'll keep watching. Rook is still moderating and continuing to put the Indiegogo link within the thing, and we'll play the trailer again in a moment. But I think with all the people that are watching this now, we kind of want to finish watching. I want to finish watching this. And again, this was 3 days after filming, and everything was very fresh in my mind. My opinions have not changed. I really do love and appreciate everyone who worked on this, and it's very weird sharing this and having these kind of thoughts and stuff with everyone. But I'm glad. That's why I wanted to do this, because time is short. You don't know how tomorrow is going to go, and you should tell the people that you enjoy how much you enjoy them. So yeah, we'll continue watching and having this be kind of emotional and stuff. So,
you know, do whatever. Be like, okay, I can move this C-stand once, but you were there. You were there every day, all day. I asked Matt one night, and it was, I mean, this was really rough. Call time was 5 a.m. for crew, 6 a.m. for cast, and then we wanted to try and roll. We wanted to start rolling scenes at 7 every day, and this was both Indiana and Tennessee. And some days were a little bit later because we're human, and we're not slave drivers. Like we were like, hey, let's give 30 more minutes. Let's have some more people drink coffee, eat some snacks, try and wake up. We're all friends. It's, you know, we don't want to be ridiculous to each other. There's a mutual respect, and it's just like, okay, let's push an hour and let's just try and relax. But there was a night where, obviously, again, starting at 7 in the morning and rolling till midnight, I was just like, Matt, if you want to go home, you can. I mean, we're going to finish the scene and do whatever. Like, there's nothing else that we really need. And he was just like, no, man, I'll stay just in case you need anything. You can't ask for more than that. I mean, I'm just so grateful that you wanted to be a part of the whole thing. And hopefully you learned stuff, and like it was easy for you to pick up some things and be able to kind of see behind the scenes of like what it takes to make something like this. But you could have easily just, you know, worked on the day that you were on set, which was the last day. But no, you were there every day, and I'm very grateful. Let me check my phone real quick. Okay. Put this back. There we go. You follow me again? Okay. Dennis, special effects. The time that you worked on this project, I mean, it's been forever, and it's just good to finally see everything be done, and just, like I was saying before, it's out. It's finally out. I can have some release. I can be relieved that the things are out of my head. Obviously, with special effects, there's a few things that are like, sometimes things don't come out the way that you planned, or things kind of work in a different way, and you kind of adapt and go, okay. But I don't want to like talk about too much with the things and the gore and the blood and whatever. But like, I'm happy. I'm overall just thrilled that everything came out, and I'm happy. So thank you very much for just the time and the effort and just lack of sleep and different things. It took a lot. It took a lot to get this movie made. Jesse, Josh, and Minerva. This family came into our lives, and number one, their music, their band, Mantra of Morta, fills our car, our house, wherever we are. We've tried to share it with people, and music's one thing, but the people behind the band and their daughter, it's just so good. Genuinely good people. Josh came on, and there were some issues where we had to have him stand in and play a character, and then we added a line. We wanted to give him something in the movie, and he was just always like, okay, where do you need me? What do you want me to do? Josh helped with special effects. He helped carry stuff. He was here. He was assisting everyone. He was just like, I'm available. What do you need me to do? Amazing. Jesse was fantastic on screen. Jesse helped, again, carry, do stuff, be a PA. What do you need? Do I need to get something? Do I need to be out of the way? Where it was just ridiculous. And both Jesse and Douglas, which I'll get to in a second, were one of the people who had to be very uncomfortable on set. I won't go into detail, but it's just like, we needed to go, hey, will you get back into that uncomfortable position for the next hour or something? And they were like, yeah, sure. What do you need me to do? It's just insane. And then being able just to hang out with them after filming, hang out with everyone, is just such a good therapeutic, heart-warming feeling. It's very good. RJ. I mentioned RJ a minute ago, but it's just like, RJ wasn't our first pick for Albert, but as I've said multiple times during this whole production, the universe had different plans. I won't go into a whole spiel about belief and whatever flavor of religion you find yourself living in. All I know is what happens and what doesn't happen. All the stuff in between, you can make up whatever metaphor, proverb, poetry you want for it. But there are a lot of things between Indiana and Tennessee that happened. Some stuff that was extremely bad was rewarded with things that were very good. It was like something was always replaced, and it was like, this happens for a reason, and then this comes right back up around it, and it's a rewarding feeling that, oh, well, that worked out. That plan, that actually makes sense. That panned out better than it should have. Or if things were really, really good, we had a good balance of something that happened, a little piece of obstacle that we had to face or whatever, to make it more rewarding to get to that good spot afterward. So I'm firm within planting my foot and going, things happen for a reason in this entire production. And having RJ come into the story and I'll lump in Darren with this as well, because our original James and our original Albert weren't able to do the project, and we came back around to RJ Seacott and Darren Lee Cupp. And our movie is incredible. I'm just happy. I'm happy with what we have. And it's just like, you can't concentrate too much on the past. You can't focus too much on what ifs and what could have been or whatever, because it's a waste of energy. It's a waste of time. But I guarantee you this movie is going to be gorgeous. It's going to make you feel, and it's going to matter. It is going to be something that you're going to watch and just go, okay, that's pretty good. If I can get that, if I can elicit that reaction, I'm satisfied. I don't want constant, whatever. I don't want an ego and 5 stars and whatever. I know that with this being my first one or whatever, it's not going to be, Last of the Mohicans or Joker or, Gangs of New York or whatever. I'm not Scorsese. I don't intend to be. But it's going to be a good movie. But both, I'll gotta go through these really quickly. Just RJ was full on. RJ's a very athletic actor. When we were in Indiana, he had no qualms of throwing himself on the floor or throwing himself into a wall or chucking himself into a bathtub for a scene. And it's just like he wanted to be in that moment. He needed to have the feeling. He needed to have what was going on so that he could get into character. He could say those lines. And it's just incredible. Darren is a powerhouse. Not only is he just a magnificent, just kind of presence on screen, he can float range very well. Patrick is kind of, he's not a one-note character, but most of the movie he's a very aggressive character. His attitude is very strict and lean. Doesn't have a lot of give in one direction or the other. But some of the stuff that we filmed in Tennessee, and again, how I was describing, in Indiana, we filmed a lot of dialogue, exposition. The bonds between characters got bigger and stronger. Stuff in Tennessee kind of extrapolates a lot of emotion, and it lets those bonds kind of grow. And Darren and RJ are gonna shock some people. They're gonna impress some people. And then just behind the scenes, RJ and Darren were so nice and patient and understanding, and knowing that shit happens. There's a process. Things have to go on. There's stuff that comes up and different things that change. But I commend both of them. They were so extremely just patient with me and with the production, and they were happy. They were in it. So I'm just again, I'm thankful. I'm very grateful.
Getting a lot of awkward close-ups of my face here while I'm doing settings of the DJI. Very awkward. Anytime now. Okay, there you go.
Okay. Jason. I mentioned Jason a minute ago, but Jason Crow. It's hard. It's hard to find different adjectives since I'm talking about everybody. But Jason's an enigma. He really is. And when I say that, it seems cliche, but it's just he's so helpful, and he wants to be there. He wants to be involved. And then he can switch into the character that he needs. He really enjoyed playing a more emotional character, a character that has issues, problems. He said multiple times, you know, a lot of people just want me as a comedic character or kind of like a romance character, and you know, he's fine with that, but you know, it does get kind of old, and he was very, very intrigued, personally entertained with where he could go, what kind of character he could build with all of this emotional baggage that Anders has. And it was great. It was great. It was very, very fulfilling to watch all of this. Because like I mentioned before, it's like, you know, you have this on paper for so long. You look at it on a computer screen, or you read it in your head, or you just have stuff that exists, and then you finally hear someone else say it. Take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5. They do different things. So that you hear it between 2 or 3 different people. You have some triangle coverage of dialogue, and you're just like, that's the sound. That's the sentence. That's the paragraph. And then, like before, like I mentioned, like we cut certain pieces of dialogue, or we change different things, and it was like, well, it doesn't sound right. Like, now that it's out of my head and we actually hear RJ talk to Jason, or Jason talk to Darren, it's like it doesn't fit, doesn't work. We need to mesh the dialogue so that it's more conversational and, you know, different stuff. But Jason was incredible to work with, and then he was just always there. He was always wanting to help. He didn't just go, all right, my scene's done, bye, and then he just, you know, leaves. So very grateful. Amber Burns, next person I'm going to talk about. Amber had waited for this movie for about 4 years, and we brought it up to them, and they instantly were like, yes, I would love to do this, obviously. And they always wanted to do more specific things within a horror movie, and their performance was ridiculous. Again, seeing stuff for real, and instead of just being on paper or pretending in your head and imagining, what she put on screen was really good. And it was able, it made it possible for everyone else to bounce off of her character, because, I mean, the whole movie, Parallels, is about Amelia and what Amelia's going through. And having a focal point, be able to cast off in different directions, that way everyone can kind of use that as a stepping stone. Everyone brought their A game. It was easy for everyone to act off of each other because they were all in the moment. They were caring about the story. And I'm over here with my script, just watching the monitor, and I'm just like, this is insane. I have goosebumps. This is happening. This is a thing. This is going on. But Amber went through so much prep and planning, getting into the character, listening to certain music, having certain athletic routines that they had to do. They planned for so long of how the body should move, and with being possessed and making sure that you're limber, and knowing that you're going to be on set in a bed, chained up, and whatever that we're doing. It's taxing. It's exhausting. It's no different than preparing for, a sporting event or something. They put so much work into this, and it shows. It is absolutely apparent. So, thank you, Amber. Brittany. It was great to work with Brittany again. Brittany Blanton is just so easy to talk to and hang out with. It sucks that we were only with them for a day, or really a night, but it was one of those scenes that really add to one of our characters' arcs, what they're dealing with, what things is going on. Oh god, I apologize. But it was great to just have you near us and near our set. Unfortunately, again, like I mentioned before, I didn't get to spend a lot of time with you because we were either on set and moving things and trying to get stuff done, and things happen. But again, I appreciate you greatly for being a part of this project.
Shoo. I think we got one. Yeah, I think we got one more. So first off, before I play this again, thank you all for like staying with this live stream. Again, I know that we all have lives and it's Saturday and it's like, so I appreciate you just spending your time and relaxing and, obviously again, watching this very weird, awkward, getting things off my chest and talking about people that I really enjoy and thanking them for working on this movie. But yeah, there's just one more video. It's smaller than the other ones. And then we'll play the trailer one more time. We'll do our spiel of the Indiegogo, and we'll close this down. But again, thank you for watching. If you're watching currently, I appreciate you. The link is below to our Indiegogo. We are trying to complete the movie and have these finishing funds collected so that we can get our physical media out, get a physical copy to as many people as possible. And again, just trying to wrap this up and put a nice and neat, glorious bow on this gift that we've been creating and forming for the last 7 years now. So I'll play this last video and I'll kind of stop taking up your time. Again, thank you for spending your time with me.
They just, do whatever, be like, oh.
No, it's this one. Let me.
And
yeah,
I hope you enjoy it. Johnny Shandor and Marcella and John were with us in Indiana for the last day of filming, and as young Amelia, it was super interesting again to see it in real time. Oh god. I know I'm tired. I'm still recouping from sleep. But it was great to see it in real time and actually like see how it was coming together, because when we filmed with Johnny, it was the last day in Indiana. So we already had kind of an idea of how everything was going together. Now, ultimately, a lot of the stuff that we shot in Indiana was pieced out and it wasn't so collected. In Tennessee, we filmed mainly in chronological order. A lot of the stuff in the basement happens as a throughway, and it's kind of a constant thing of like the progression of time. In Indiana, it kind of flipped back and forth of what we were doing, and it was just cool to work with you. I feel that what we got will pull people in. I know a lot of times kids on screen in a horror movie can have different effects, and I'm hoping that your scene added just a little bit more heart into what we needed. That way we can try and pull that out of our viewers and our audience of what we're doing. But you were tremendous. I'm very, very thankful that you were able to work with us on this project. Douglas Andrews, our Lenny, you surprised the shit out of me, because we worked together. When before you left and you moved across the country, we talked nearly every day. We worked at our vanilla job together. We obviously we've talked about this movie on and off, and you were always super jazzed, and we knew like when you moved, a while away. You know, it's not an easy drive from Colorado, but we talked about like, well, what's going to happen, and it was just like, no, the movie will still happen, and it's just like, okay. So everyone cared so much about this movie. So Douglas flew out and he came to do his part in this movie, and I really now am solid in the fact that Lenny adds some levity and a little bit of a different caliber of character, because this is such a small knit cast and crew, and the movie happens basically over a 3 to 4 day period in very limited locations. We're using all that stuff to our advantage, and the movie ramps up very quickly as soon as it starts to make sense of the small time frame. And it only exists in a few specific spots because of the story. We tried to do our resource filmmaking inward and know how could we work with the limitations that we have. But Douglas's character, now finally seeing it with everyone, how it sounded, your delivery of certain things, and just the rhythm that you had with certain stuff, it was perfect. Like, I'm so excited to edit and put all these things together. It's good. It's good. So some of the other things that we want to just, make mention of. I wanted to thank James and Alicia for letting us use your house for the basement. If we hadn't had that location, we wouldn't have had a movie. We wouldn't have had a movie. In Logansport, we filmed primarily in one location the entire time. In Tennessee, we filmed in primarily one location the entire time. We were in that basement for 3 days, and it was a long time. If we hadn't had that basement, we wouldn't have had a movie. And you were just so polite and generous and letting us use your kitchen and your porch and your living room, just opening up your house to us and just destroying your basement, literally filling it with blood and gore, and yeah, thanks. I want to thank Eastman in Kingsport. Obviously, if you live in Tennessee, you know who those are. The city of Kingsport for letting us film at a location there, and Eastman as well because they partner with it for this little walkway metropolis bridge area. Thank you. I want to thank Aben Studios. I want to thank Rick. I want to thank Rick. I want to thank Aben Studios and Rick. I can't thank you enough. You've given us so much time.
We gotta pause that for a second because this is unedited, and again, I haven't watched this, so like my brain, I bet I was like, oh, I'll edit this later. I messed up. I flubbed. So I'll just redo the take. What an idiot! I was so tired when I recorded this.
Material and equipment and experience, lessons, just conversations about different aspects of what should and shouldn't be, and just fielding stuff off of you. You were a great host. You let us have your property, and just you were excited for us, and we were feeding off of everything that was going on in the day, and you were just another part of that puzzle that allowed us to do what we needed and what we need to achieve. So I appreciate you more than I can describe. The last two people that I just want to thank, again, there's so many things that happen. If I missed anyone, I apologize. It's just my brain is still mush. It's still mush, and it's ridiculous. But Jason Hartman and Don Perkins. So Jason Hartman was a PA that we had in Indiana, and he came in and helped with Dennis and was just everywhere. I appreciate the time that you took to help us and what you were able to look at and watch and see. Hopefully you had a great time. Don was a friend of Rebecca and Tony's, and he came in and helped us with electrical. He helped build a ring light that was massive that went over the round table scene, and just such a cool dude. and big, super massive and muscular. But he was super funny and very cool to have on set. And yeah, thank you for what you put into the movie. I just don't. I don't know what else to say. I mean, we're obviously not done. We have a lot of post-production to do, but the relief, the ability to say that the stress is pretty much gone, it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling. During filming, I wasn't able really to eat. Like, obviously the time and whatever, but it's just the stress, the anxiety. I couldn't eat a lot. And right after filming, it was just really nice to enjoy a burger and some fries and just be able to, like, feel satisfied. Because through both Indiana and Tennessee, just every time I sat down, I just felt like I was like, I could be doing something else. There's something else I could be doing. What could I be planning? Where do I need to be? Who needs to talk to me? You know, what's on the schedule? What needs to be moved? What, you know? And I'm still exhausted. It'll take a minute for me to recover. I don't know. I just feel like I'm going to keep rambling. Thank you. Thank you a lot for doing this with us. Even if you weren't on set, if you were still a person who liked our stuff on Facebook, if you followed us on Instagram, or you shared stuff within our group, or you were just one of the people that are in our lives that support us, one of the people that are in the cast and crew's life, maybe friends that you enjoy what they're doing, you're supporting what your friend or family member is doing. Thank you, because that helps as well. A lot of it, I just feel speechless. I don't know how to... I mentioned it before, I don't know how to process it. I've never went through this before. What is the best way? How do thing? I'm gonna go ahead and stop this now. So I've been talking for a good hour. So thanks for watching. Well, that was an adventure. So I'll go ahead and yeah, I'll do the trailer one more time. I'll take these off of the screen. So yeah, we'll play the trailer one more time, and if you have any final questions after watching that, I know that's a lot to unpack, especially for people who I was mentioning and talking about. Again, my opinions have not changed; they have only increased in how I believe in everyone. And like all the people I mentioned, because of the time that has been like since we filmed, they're doing other stuff. Like they're on to different projects. So please continue, if you've been supporting Parallels, continue to support Darren and his other projects, and RJ. Visit RJ if he's on stage anywhere. Get tickets. Tony just finished filming The Undesirables, which is a beautiful movie. I can't wait to watch that. And I was only on set for a limited amount of time, but the people that he collected, wow, that movie's going to be amazing. But literally, like, keep supporting people that's around you. If you know and you enjoy some of the stuff that has been shared of at least this movie, or you know them in person, just keep supporting them. Keep being positive. Keep throwing your social media, algorithm into people's face. That way, more eyes can be on everyone else's projects. So I'll go ahead and load up the trailer one more time, and I'll give you back your day. And for those who have donated so far, again, thank you. The Indiegogo is just going to be live for a month. If you can't donate, please share and at least just let other people see it. Because again, Facebook is very limited. They're very limited on who sees your stuff. And if you don't have activity or whatever on it, then it's probably going to be hidden from someone's feed. So.
I found the gate that leads to the outside, by which the ancient ones, whoever seek entrance to our world, keep eternal watch. When the gates open, I'll cause the dead to rise and devour the living. I'll give the dead power over the living, so that they may outnumber the living.
All right. So yeah, we've been streaming for about 3 hours and 30 minutes, so I appreciate you. I've been toiling around of again, doing that same game that I did a minute ago with the blooper reel and actually having the movie loaded and giving someone the ability to just say 1 minute later. Are you sure? Later in the campaign? Okay. Well, later in the campaign, I may do that. Of doing another live stream and giving someone the ability of randomly choosing a minute within the movie and just sharing it. Maybe spoilers, maybe not. So I'll kind of go big with my camera. Thank you. For real, this has been quite a long stream. So if you've watched it in parts or if you kind of split it out later, if you have to go to work, sorry you have to go to work. You should call in. You should probably have some unplanned time or something like that. Say that you stubbed your toe or something. Your arm fell off. A good excuse. But thank you, for real. Please donate if you can. Help us get this physical media out for Parallels to be able to give it to everyone. We have quite a number of people within the States and internationally, which is crazy because we're sending our movie to Ireland, Italy, Greece, Japan, Australia, I think Israel, somewhere close to that. I can't remember, which is insane. Carrie, you can definitely watch the trailer later when you can. But I'm just a broken record at this point. Again, thank you. The only thing else that I'll say is if you are in the mindset or the... Huh? Yeah, definitely England. Anyway, what I was trying to say, my closing statement. Keep supporting people. Keep supporting creativity and art. If there's people around you later on, a month from now, 2 months from now, 6 months, whatever, donate to someone. Doesn't have to be this campaign, but literally there's always going to be someone around you who is either working on a new album, they're working on an art gallery setup, they have a movie or a short, they're trying to do a YouTube video about some video game that they're screening or something. Just be supportive.